I've never done like this, so bear with me right now. Bear with me right now. I'll be right with you. Oh my gosh, this is so fun. Hold on. I love Spirit. They're so funny. They're so funny. Hold on. Hang in there. I'll be right there. Welcome. No one's here yet. Okay, good. We're in 25 seconds. Okay. All right. Okay. So no one's here. That's good. Okay, cool. So I need to kind of play with this a little bit, and so no, I probably want to go more this way, right? I want you guys to be able to, like, you can see that, right? I want to see, like, if I hold up a card, if you can see it. I've never done it this way. If I did, I don't remember. If I've gone live on my laptop, I literally don't remember. So okay, I'm gonna get settled. I'm feeling this need to go barefoot, so you're going to probably laugh a little bit because my outfit is kind of silly. Hold on. What are you saying, Spirit? Hold on. Because I'm wearing so many layers, and I feel like I need to be barefoot. So it's going to seem silly, but there's a reason for it. Sorry. My pendulum's going a little crazy. Let me ask Spirit. Okay. Okay, cool. No one's here yet. So all right, I'm gonna climb into my little nook. Actually, they told me to keep it like this, so I don't even know if you guys will be able to see me or if you're supposed to. Oh my god, it's okay, it's okay. They're like, you can do it. They're like, you can do it. Okay. Okay, so I kind of see what's going on. All right, hi you guys. So you're not going to see my face, it looks like. You're just going to see this. Okay, so I can't go too far because it's going to go off the edge. But wow. Okay, so welcome. I don't know if you're supposed to see my face. Let me ask. Is it in their greatest and highest good to see my face today? Okay, so welcome. Hello, there's one person here. So I'm going to probably be saying this throughout the video. So they're telling me not to show my face. That's fine. Hello, I am Tallulah Kelly. I'm the magical medium. Welcome, 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 welcome. Okay, so you may have noticed, I don't know if you'll notice or not. This is my pile of stuff. I don't know if you'll notice this or not, but you can watch this, but you cannot participate unless you subscribe. Very interesting the way Spirit had this, happen today, which, by the way, Blessed National Giving Day in the United States. You probably know of the plethora of greed that happens during what is supposed to be Gratitude Day, Thanksgiving. It's called Thanks and Giving. Thank you. And we give. Instead, it's like, what can we buy on, Black Friday? Like, what can we buy? What can we consume? What can we, it's just become this material, out of control, like crazy. But that's where it's supposed to be, and that's okay. So with that being said, oh yeah, by the way, it's right next to my little mini fridge. I live in a little tiny RV off grid, mostly off grid. I say that as the refrigerator goes. We have an extension cord, so I have to like kind of pick and choose what I'm going to use to put on it. And anyway, I digress. So what I was pulled to do, I didn't know this was going to happen. I was doing my own thing, living in my own world, just whatever. And this morning I said, how can I help? How can I, and I had a feeling I was going to do a reading today. I just wasn't sure how. And so it's interesting that this Thanksgiving, this Tuesday, it's Tuesday is the real day. It's December 3rd, 2024 is the real. Did you say, do you want my face on the camera? Okay. Because I'm like, it feels weird that you're like seeing my neck. Do you want me to put the camera down a little bit more for them? Okay. Hold on. I'm live, so I have to be careful. I feel like this is showing you guys. Okay, so this tells me right now, total Mercury retrograde. Are you guys going through the same stuff I am? Hi. Oh my gosh. I have had some of the crazy, oh, they're saying it's a little too low. Okay. I have had some of the craziest things happen already during this Mercury retrograde. Have you guys been having anything going on with you? Okay. So this day of giving, this Tuesday, National Giving Day in the United States, is because there's such a plethora of like spending Thanksgiving weekend. There's so much money that goes out, whether people are going to the movies or entertainment or whatever it is. There's so much happening all like in that weekend that I don't know who created, Give Back Tuesday or whatever, but it's brilliant. It's really brilliant, it started out with this is the America thing, if you don't know. Okay, so it was Thanksgiving, right? Everybody knows about Thanksgiving, right? Oh, by the way, drink some water. Look at my cute mug. I'm like totally getting into the festive season. This is one of my favorite mugs. Look at the inside. Isn't that beautiful? I got these. I don't remember where I got these. I think in a thrift store or something, but they're so magical. So first it was Black Friday. Then small businesses were like, well, what the fuck, So then it became Small Business Saturday. Great. I don't know what Sunday is, but we have Cyber Monday. And so now they have Giving Tuesday. So I guess they're kind of like, after you've, completely spent money and raped the economy, you know what I mean? Like whatever. It's like, well, the least you can do is give it back, right? So that's what that is all about. So today I'm going to do a reading for you guys live. And if you are a member, if you're a subscriber to this channel, thank you with grace and gratitude. Thank you. And welcome for being here, and welcome to the new people. If you cannot comment, it is because you need to subscribe for a month before you can comment. Or actually, I think you can comment. I think it's the comment. Yeah. I don't know. They had me set it up. I was like, you guys know I totally go with the flow, man. I'm like an old school hippie witch, man. I'm a gypsy witch through and through. And I live by my own rules, and I go to the beat of my own drum, as many people have said throughout my lifetime. It's true. So I'm not fancy. Someday maybe I will be more together, but at this point, this is where I'm at. So I am meeting myself where I am at, just as you are meeting yourself where you are at, because you're here today. So just because you're not here today, because right now, so far, there's one person came in and left, and that's okay. But it's just so interesting, that when they had me set this up, I knew I was going to do a reading of some kind. So we're probably going to pull some cards, but also go live in case anybody wants to ask any questions, but you have to be a subscriber to you know what I mean? Because I know a lot of you are struggling financially. I know, because since I have had my channel, I went from kind of a constant stream of income. It may not have been whatever, but at least I had a constant stream, to it kind of started to dwindle down. Then it kind of cut off completely, which was fine because I was in my own world. I wasn't really doing a lot of readings and stuff. And then it started kind of coming back, and then it kind of stopped again. And it's been this so I can feel that. And I want you to know that most of us that are in any type of prosperity, abundance, consciousness that is in a standstill and not in a flow, there's a reason for it. Some of you, it's because you're holding on to your money too tightly. There's some of you that, you send me $5 and you're like, I know this isn't much. And I'm like, dude, $5 is a lot. The other day, yesterday, Alder bought 3 cans of food for Baba for $7. That $5 is a lot. But we're also at the beginning stages of the most abundant lives we've ever had. It's just a lot of us have been stuck in this toxicity of abundance lack. We either were raised without money, raised with, stress of money, something with money. There's definitely I feel that because our tribe is so giving. Everyone on this channel who subscribes that is a true subscriber, um, you know, you're here for a reason, and you know that. And so there's no shame in whatever. So this is my way of giving back to you, because I know that you guys pray for me. I know that you guys send good energy. I feel it. Bubba feels it. Alder feels it. I feel it when my finances shift. I feel it, you know. So keep the prayers coming, keep supporting, keep sharing, liking, subscribing. All of that stuff makes a huge difference and puts us more in the public eye, because it's a fair game right now, right? Like, I mean, I could pull some tricks and do some stuff. I mean, I know a lot of people are like, I don't understand like why you aren't monetized yet, or why blah blah blah. And I'm like, because this is the way it was supposed to go. You know, and I've spoke all about that over my channels for years, you know, about karma and all that. I don't get to escape that. I was a fucking asshole. I did a lot of shitty things and underhanded things, very manipulative, because I could. You know, I was a gorgeous blonde, blue-eyed, white American girl, and I used it to my best advantage because I was prompted to. I remember one time when I asked my father why he helped everybody, my brother, my sister, my step siblings, like whatever. Like he would help. I would go when I lived in Los Angeles, and I'd come back to Chicago, and I'd go to my dad's bar, restaurant, whatever. It was like a lot of things. It was a banquet hall. But when I'd go to my dad's business and sit at the bar and have a drink, I would have endless people coming up to me telling me what a hero my dad was. What a wonderful man, your dad is amazing. You know, if it wasn't for your dad, I would have had my electricity cut off. Him and my stepmom had big hearts, and they did a lot for their people in their community. Like they did a lot. And maybe people couldn't understand why, you know, but it was like it needed to be. I remember one time somebody goes, "Is your dad's bar, did it used to be Corsi's?" And I was like, "What?" They're like, "Yeah, you know, Corsi's for divorcees." And I was like, "What?" And then I found out like this whole like community of people in this area where my dad's place was, these bars, and it's like, yeah, they were like a community. They helped each other. My dad put out food and fed people, and he gave back. Like he was really amazing, really, really, really amazing. But whenever I needed help and I would ask him for help, he would turn me down. And I'd get really frustrated. I'd get really angry with him. For Christmas, I'd be like, just give me money. He's like, no, what do you need? Like, do you need a VCR? You need, you know, a fridge? Like, he was like that. Like, he was like, what can I buy you? And I was like, money. Money would be good. Money would help with. And he's like, yeah, but that'll go and whatever. And then finally one day he said, if I had your looks and your brain and blah, blah, blah. He went on and on. He's like, I would be so rich. He's like, you know what? You don't need anything. He's like, you need to learn how to use what God gave you. And I remember thinking like, what the fuck? You know? But that's the way I was raised, right? Ooh, and I looked up, it was 1309. So I'm going to say that is going to be our angel number for today, 1309. 1309, which actually is awesome because that's the number 13, which is the divine feminine. So, yeah, interesting. I didn't plan this. I didn't, you know, so I guess the reason why that could be too, you know, right now they could have put on there that you had to be a subscriber for a month, because maybe our subscribers aren't going to actually come on here, but they wanted me to shoot it this way because maybe it's meant to go in someone's orbit, or you know what I'm saying? Like, who knows? Like, I never know why Spirit has me do things. Sometimes I know, or I'll be like, oh, that's awesome, Spirit, you know. But sometimes like this, I'm like, I don't need to know. I don't have to know. This isn't about me. I'm a channel and a medium on this channel. This isn't Lulu's Labyrinth. This isn't Bubba the Great, you know, my other channels, or our other channels, excuse me. But you know, and oh, by the way, a little segue, Bubba says hello and she loves you. Thank you for the positive energy, healing energy. She feels it. She's so grateful. Honestly, we are both so grateful for all of the things that you guys do for us. So let's dig into it. Let's see where the cards are. I think it's really cool that the dragons wanted to come in too, because I kind of feel like the dragons are saying the same thing to you or us, you know, like, thank you, thank you, thank you. So this is a free message from them and from me. But yeah, so if you can, feel free to donate to this channel when you can, contribute to this channel when you can. I have PayPal, I have Venmo, Amazon wish list, but then also subscribing, liking, sharing, commenting, praying, same thing. You know, Right now, I say, thank you, Spirit. All of my bills are paid. All of my bills are paid on time. And if they're paid on time, they're paid when they're meant to. Everything is exactly as it's meant to. This is living in the now, living in the moment has been one of the most difficult things for humanity. We were taught to control ourselves. Control yourself. We were taught all of these things. If you're new here, when I talk about things and I leave off at something, it's meant to leave there and then I'll come back around to it, or I'm not. Sometimes I'm just planting seeds. I have multiple energies and entities that are coming through. I opened the portal, the gateway before this. We are divinely protected by Archangel Michael, but then also we have, obviously, the dragons are here, and we have your higher self, the spirit guides. Everyone is here. So they're bringing back to this again. So basically, please subscribe, because I'm going to start doing more of these when Spirit asks me to do it. But the only people who can ask questions or comment are subscribers. Okay. And if somebody subscribed inadvertently and they say something snarky or nasty, I'll block them. Because sometimes people will like a video or a shorts or something, and then they'll just subscribe. This happens to me all the time. Sometimes I'll get like where it's like, it starts going up and I get all these subscribers, and then one by one they start to trickle in as I put more stuff out, because it's like, maybe they saw a really cool eagle video I did or something with Native American, shamanistic, energy behind it. And they're like, cool, we like this person. But then I'll do like witchy stuff and they're like, you know what I mean? Because whatever somebody feels or whatever level of consciousness they're at, that's where they're at. That's what's happening. You know what I mean? So anyway, I wanted to also say that since these are on there kind of loosely, this fell out of one of our trees during the windstorm, and I just had to like bring it in, but I didn't want to get it too pretty because I wanted to show it to you. I mean, honestly, I am so, hello, welcome. Feel free to chat. You don't have to if you don't want to. That's what happens too. People come on and then they leave because they think they don't know. But I can't see you. Just an FYI, I can't see you. It doesn't like say, oh, Huff and Fluff stuff and Fluff is here. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't say anything. It just, that's it. That's it. So there's no fear there. You won't be identified. I'm not going to call you out. This isn't Romper Room or Mr. Rogers. Like, it's all good. Like, it's all good. I feel like this wants to come here. Ooh, yeah. Look at this. Making an altar. We're making an altar. I also feel like this might be for some of you to come home. I do know that we have a happy birthday to our Sagittarius. So for any Sagittarius that are out there, if you're here in our tribe, please come forward. I'd love to do a little reading for you, little messages. I call her the president of the magical medium, Anna. She just had a birthday. I believe it. Anna, I'm so sorry. Every year I'm like, I'm going to write it down or I'm going to remember. But it's because I kept asking her forever and she wouldn't say. I think she didn't want me. I didn't think, some people don't like the attention, or maybe at that time. But anyway, long story short, I know it's either the 1st or the 2nd. It could be the 3rd, but I want to say I'm almost 100% positive it's in with those 3 days. And it's bizarre because all of my other like really close, family, friends, whatever, like I know their birthdays. I know, and when I was doing this today, I was like, oh, it's perfect. I'm like, oh, it's Anna's birthday. Maybe we're going to do something for Anna today. Some people like to share. Oh, that's the crease. I thought this was something hanging over. Sorry. There's so much stuff on top of the couch because, Bubba's going through her stuff. And so I forgot to straighten it out a little bit, but I have to have multiple layers on here in case we have any accidents. The dragons are saying before we pull cards, because Bubba is part of our dragon clan, thank you. Seriously, I really want to say thank you to you guys for all of your loving support of Bubba, because she is, she is a warrior, man. She is really, really, really a warrior. We both are. What we've been through in the last few weeks has been really difficult for both of us, like super, super difficult. However, it was life-changing. It was what we needed. And I feel like, I think this is like backwards. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's a mirror image. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, it was touch and go for a minute. I'm having a hard time and I don't want to start crying, but it was touch and go. I genuinely with everything I am, thought I was putting Bubba down. And it was the most gut-wrenching, difficult. It was over Thanksgiving too. So Alder was on his own and it was me and her. And I was like trying to say, sorry. I just realized you guys are looking at my old sock. I know, sometimes you just can't throw things away. I live off grid. So it's just easier for me to have multiple pairs of socks like that. And I'm like, I don't really care. Anyway, so people have been coming on and going off and coming on and going off. And I don't know what that is. So it's interesting because I don't know if it means views. Like when people pop on, I don't know if that means somebody's watching it or if that's a subscriber. You know what I'm saying? Because remember they said like only subscribers. I never did that. I've never done it this way before. So I don't know if that, no, I think maybe it means it's just someone's watching it. Anyway. There's a lot of energies and entities here. A lot of you guys, I can feel you wanting to ask questions and talk to spirit and all that. So I'm trying to get a lot of this stuff out of the way too. I just realized you guys are just looking at my pile of my stuff. But yeah, and I really, really wanted to say thank you about Bubba because I do think it was a lot of you guys helping, and it was definitely prayer and guidance from the divine, because there's no way I could have gotten through that. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, I'm not trying to be annoying right now, but it, like, to me, like, this is my right hand. So I don't know if it is for you guys, but it's like reversed. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I hit a button or something on my laptop on accident or if it's from there. So it's weird because to me, it's like I'm trying to go a certain way. Does that make sense? It's like the mirror image thing. I should have just left it alone. Maybe whenever I'm procrastinating, I always feel like it's because maybe we're waiting for more people to come in. You know what I'm saying? Like the energy wise. It's also that I feel like I'm deflecting energy too, because somebody might be frustrated if they can't comment, if they aren't a subscriber. And I'll keep saying that through the video until, because they didn't have me write that in the comments, but maybe from now on I will. So you have to be, I have it set up at least today, you cannot chat or ask questions unless you've been a subscriber for a month or more. So if you're new here, don't take it as like a slight that I don't love you or you're not important. You know what I mean? It just means if you're here to hear these messages too, but maybe you're not meant to interact right now. Okay. All right, spirit. Oh, I felt this one right away. Yeah, I was like feeling this kind of like, I'm like 22 minutes. Shit. I'm like 23 minutes. I feel like I was just rambling for nothing. Okay. The message from the dragons are magic and manifestation. Magic and manifestation. The thing I love the most about this card is it's the only card in the deck that has two dragons on one card. And they explain it in the book because, sometimes when you have something so powerful, so powerful, it's like it needs that extra. It needs that extra. You know what I'm saying? I call it my language. Like, I don't know what it is, but it comes out in such a natural way that I'm like, oh, you know what? That's probably what they wanted me to do. Move this one here. I wondered why, because look how big this black tourmaline is. I mean, yeah, definitely for protection, but like also to like balance this shit out because I don't want to, cause a fire or have any, it is Mercury retrograde in real time. Yeah, also for us to slow the fuck down. I mean, I've been getting that so much. I've been getting it so much, you guys. They want us to slow down. Slow down. Slow down. Slow down. Like they're just saying it over and over and over. Just slow down. And not just to me, like to all of us. Because this energy right now, the energy of the holiday season makes a lot of people anxious. I feel like they want me to put it somewhere, but I'm like, am I just not hearing you properly? You know what? I'm not going to argue or like drink some water. I'm going to get the book. I mean, obviously, you know, magic and manifestation, it's obvious. You know what I mean? Like a message. It's also number 7. Woo! And yeah, because like we're in a year, but remember that, you know, life goes in cycles of 7. Our bodies change every 7 years. I mean, you know, 49 is a really big number. So if you haven't turned 49 yet, wait till you do. I'm not kidding. I had heard it and I kept thinking, oh, it's in my subconscious now, because I kept hearing it when I was studying with the Native American shamans, teachers, whatever you want to call them, you know, they're just labels. But my divine teachers, when I was learning in that culture, that was such a big thing. And it wasn't what I was raised to believe, which was like, oh, 50, you're over the hill, you're at the halfway mark. It was all about 50, being 50, being 50. And when I started learning in that culture, it was the opposite. It was like, it was an honor. Like if you made it to 49, it was like you made it through 7 cycles of 7 seasons. And it was just very magical, because 7 times 7 is 49. So I feel like for some of you, you're either dreading getting older, but they're like, no, that's where the magic happens. Also, 49 is also the number 13, which is also the number 4, which is about stability. It's about when you're about to embark on the other half of your life. And it's a very, very magical, transformative year. And maybe you're somewhere in that cycle of 7. You know what I mean? So maybe you're 21 or 28, or, you know what I mean? Like I can go through every 7, you know what I mean? It could be that you're going through some type of, I do my little shorts, and I just did something recently on Saturn return. So you might be going through that right now. When I looked down, it was 27 exactly. Oh, that's so crazy, you guys, right? So listen, I have to tell you, for me, the 27 was a really cool time. In fact, if I had to look at my 20s and say what was the best year of my life, it was probably when I was 27. Or I don't know if it was when I turned 27 or if it was that year, but I just remember that a lot of magical things happened. So for those of you in your 20s as well, like, hard. And, you know, the magic and manifestation is something that is given to us from birth. But we do go through different cycles and different, you know, processes of elimination of the magic and manifestation. So magic and manifestation are beautiful, and you can manifest anything, but be mindful of your words and your thoughts and how you're manifesting things. Because, you know, do you ever hear that saying, be careful what you wish for? And I'm feeling like for some of you guys, you know, I try to say, like, don't be like me in certain things. Like, of course, you're meant to learn your lessons and all that stuff. But when I say don't be like me, I mean, like, I did use my good looks and I did use my smarts, you know. What was very unnerving to a lot of men when I was coming up. I mean, remember, I was born in 1971. I'm about to be 53. My birthday's 10 days from today. Woohoo! Friday the 13th, baby. You know, but I remember that I had to learn how to act I just had to appear and speak less intelligent to most people, not just men, to most people, because women too, because it was very threatening for women for me to be intelligent, confident, and beautiful inside and out. I had a good heart. I loved hard, but also I had my Southside Chicago Kelly, where I was like, I will cut a bitch. Don't fuck with me. You know what I mean? My dragon was like, you know, just no, not going to put up with that. And so over the years, I love that. It was like almost like, I feel like some of you like had like you know, like eureka moment. Oh, I think she's built it when the refrigerator went on. That was funny. But you hear what I'm saying, right? Like sometimes we have to recognize where we are in our lives and how we got there. You know, you can use your magic and you can manifest, but be mindful of how you're doing it, where you're doing it, why you're doing it. When you're sending things off on the new moon, full moon, anytime, when you're sending a wish to the stars, I don't care. Whenever you're doing something, that you're asking for something or wanting something, you need to ask yourself, number one, why? You know what I mean? Like, why do I need it? Go through those questions. I'll have to see if I can find it, but I took a screenshot of this thing that was all the things of, like, when you want something, like the questions you need to ask yourself, instead of just being like, I want it, or I need it. You know what I mean? Like, what do you really need? What do you really want? What's really good for you? It's okay to want things. It's okay to, participate in the world and enjoy it. But there's also a time where, like right now, it's like, this is about giving. And the more you give, like if you're manifesting magic to give other people, then they manifest magic to give to you. Do you see what I'm saying? And of this, a lot of our tribe and our people, and those who are drawn to this channel are kind of broke down, or it's like, I used to say, if you have food, if you have a roof over your head and you have food, you are not broke. And you're never broke. You're only broken. And when you're broken, the only thing you can do is piece yourself back together and start again. There is no perfection in the world. That's a fallacy. It's a lie. We've been fed a lot of bullshit for a really long time to get us to feel all different things. You know what I mean? And they're not necessarily good for us. So the magic and the manifestation that is coming in is also tied to karma. Karma is just as good and quote unquote good as it is, positive as it is negative. Some people are like, oh, it's karma. And they look at karma as like, because when you think of karma, I mean, when you look at her and her outfit and everything with the skulls, like you can kind of see like why, because Kali Ma to me is like the representation of karma. I mean, I know karma is her own deity, but I feel like they're sisters, or they go hand in hand of that energy. And anyway, I should say Kali Ma came in when I was thinking of karma. So I'm like, there's no mistake about that. So when Kali comes in, I let her come in and do her thing. So, they go hand in hand. It's like the banshees. And what we put out is what, we get back. What we reap is what we sow. The constant, I mean, I'm just going to put it out there. And this is something that I did as well. And it's been coming back to me. And it's really interesting to watch it, because I have always thought of myself as such a giver, but I was also somebody like, I'll give, but I got to make sure I got mine first. You know what I'm saying? As long as I got mine first, they wanted to put their pop light in front. As long as I got mine first, we're all good. And that's not what giving's really about, is it? About getting yours, right? It's about healing, giving love, energy, right? Pyrite is like a version of money. They used to call it fool's gold for a reason, because it's not really gold, it's pyrite. But it's very powerful. It's just as powerful as gold, but not to human, like, right? Like not to mankind, unless you're a crystal person and you understand how powerful pyrite is. I like to always give I guess that was meant to go. I always like to give the dragons gifts as well. I had them back here when I was doing that. See what I mean? Like, I'm like, I don't know which way I'm going. Okay. But the magic and manifestation that is not happening in your life is from whatever reaping, sowing that you have going on. The Syphilis, I think that's name. I felt their energy just come in as well. Okay, so we're going to read from the card. I do not have my glasses, and they didn't tell me to bring anything else in. So I feel like they've been kind of pushing me to try harder and not use glasses as much. So let's read from Magic and Manifestation. It says, we are here to help turn your dreams into reality, change your world, and support you. Yes, so call on the dragons, Magic and Manifestation, okay, to help you through this. It says, these two dragons are the only pair on one card in the deck. Originally, they were separate, but as I began to connect with them more deeply, I realized that they were a beautiful pair of, hold on, bear with me, a beautiful pair of two equal parts, magic and manifestation. These unusual dragons are powerful allies to have and are among the most influential and magical of all the dragons yet to come to Earth. Oh, wow, that's awesome. I just got the chills. If they have shown themselves to you, their message is this: we have danced into your consciousness to reassure you that the worst is now behind you. Your journey has been a long and arduous one at times. Now look to the future, embrace what is yet to come. They carry, oh, sorry, that was them. And it says, they carry the limitless energy of magic and manifestation and warn, be sure and clear in be sure and clear in your intentions when invoking our presence, for we are the alchemists. What you're putting into, you know what I mean? Like, especially calling on energies like dragons, you know? Yes, it's the year of the dragon, but it's like this was the year of the dragon, but dragons don't go or listen. They don't go by ego and they don't listen to ego. If you're wanting something, if you're trying to, manifest something and pull from the magic and manifestation dragons and that energy and magic in general, but it's for like for myself, like I've been struggling with this because they've been pushing me more to, ask for help or, pulling my community to support me and help me because I can't do this all by myself, kind of thing. But that's a difficult one for me too, because a lot of us that are out here, these wounded warriors, all of us are going through stuff right now with the inner child. Everybody on the planet, we're all going through very similar things. However, some of us are a little further ahead of the game. And right now, it may seem like we're not ahead of the game, right? Like it may seem like we are like, why don't we have money? Why don't, blah, blah. I hear that from people all the time. Like, why should I subscribe to you? Why should I follow you? Like, this person's got 600,000 subscribers. I'm like, yeah, well, good. That's awesome. They serve their whatever. And also I'm like, how do you know that they didn't pay for that? People don't realize in social media, there are ways that you can pay to look like you are something else. And I could tell you, because I've gone to certain readers' pages and I'm like, no judgment, right? This isn't about that. This is like where I go there and it just doesn't feel right. And I'm a human bullshit barometer, 3727 for some of you. That was an angel number. Also could be ages, 37 semicolon 27. So there could be something in there for you. But this scarcity mentality comes from a lot of us that are, if you found yourself here, you're part of this tribe, you're one of us. A lot of us, even if you had a lot of love from your family and your parents and your friends, you still always felt different. You knew you were different. You're a star seed, you're an angel, you're an Arcturian, you're Illyrian, like whatever you identify with. I'm not going to label you, but insert your story here. But all of us have a purpose and a path, and we are divinely interwoven together right now. That's why I say, I genuinely mean, like, just subscribe, just, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like people. I'm just a handful of people away of hitting 1,000 subscribers. I actually got an email from YouTube that was like, keep going. Like, you're so fucking close. Or like, you're so close. Like, holy shit. Like, good for you. Like, don't give up. And they're like, we want you to monetize. Like, if you make money, we make money, kind of thing. And I know that is what it's for, but it still was nice to get that push that was like, they would tell me how much videos I have and, the people and, it was just a really cool, and I was like, thank you, from the YouTube support team, whatever, Google, I don't care, but we're all interwoven. It's not all evil. So I started to realize that I'm not a one-man band. Even though I've felt like a one-man band most of my life, I'm not. And I know that I have you just like you have me. I was crying to my partner yesterday because, he's still on his own. Bubba, I thought I almost lost her, and still right now, she's not 100%, but she's way better than she was. We healed her, worked with her. We hit rock bottom together. We worked through it. And now, we're doing our best to keep her comfortable and keep her happy and healthy for as long as she wants to stay. I had a really horrible moment. Here I was on gratitude day thinking like I'm about my husband. I don't know if my husband, most of my friends are gone. I only have one like real, like all my friends are my friends. You guys are my friends, but you one person left in my life now. It's like my friend before I was a medium. that's still my friend. And she is also a light worker, a medium. Like she's I think so. I'm gonna just label on her, but she's one of these days. You guys are going to meet her, Jules. We've been talking about doing something together. A lot of you know I've been talking about Jules for years. She's very special. She's been on some of my before was Lula's Labyrinth before it turned into Magical Medium. But it's for us to bond together, and band together. Because I cried to him yesterday. I feel like the band just broke up. I'm like, I don't know what's happening. I'm like, I don't know what's happening. But I needed to have that moment, and all of us are going through this magic and manifestation, the karma, you know what I mean? It's like we're all going through it individually. We're all going through different things. And if you're here and you're a member, feel free. If you're a subscriber, you just have to subscribe. If you're just, there's no fees or anything. It's just, if you're a subscriber, you're welcome. Ooh, and I looked up, it was 41. So that's also could be in something for somebody. It's also 5, which is change and transformation. And that's what we're here to do right now, is to change and transform into and wake up fully into who we are and why we're here and our gifts and all that. The abundance is right here. It's right in front of us. Now we're getting the green light to move forward. And that's what I feel like the dragons are saying to us now. We're getting the green light. We've been struggling. We've been suffering. We've been going through it. I saw a crack of light in my relationship yesterday when I said that to him and he started to get emotional. I realized, I'm like, there's still love there. And then I said to him, I go, I wasn't sure what was going on. I'm like, but if there's love there, I'll fight. It was the same with Bubba. I had to get in Bubba's face and say, do you want to fucking live or die? Just like a lot of when I was going through my, one of the worst moments of my life, when I had hit, 88 pounds and I was at death's door. And I stood in front of a medicine man who said, do you want to live or do you want to die? It's just that simple. And he literally said it like that. It's just that simple. And I looked at him and he knew, because he was a medicine man. He saw my whole life. I didn't have to tell him that I tried to kill myself how many times. I didn't have to tell him that my whole life I hated myself because I was fucking weird and different, and that I mean, I've been wearing masks for my whole existence, for most that I can really remember. Even as a child, I remembered that, I was the youngest. So if I wanted my siblings or my family or my friends, anybody to like me, I started to understand I could be myself and I could be cool and strong. But if I really wanted them to like me, and over the years, it was like, and then finally, just life broke me. Life broke me. 80s, wearing braids, the whole thing, and even like this, we're thing, because that's just the real thing. And he just went, and he literally, the way he frail 88-pound frame that was about to die. My body stopped taking food. It wouldn't, you know what I mean? Like, I had to go through a death, and it was horrific. But when he blew life into me, I literally felt my body almost fall over. 44. Ooh, cool. And, which is the number 8, which is the number of the dragon. So I feel like for some of you, you may feel like that. You may feel like you're at death's door, especially coming out of, we're just, 3 days into the new moon in Sagittarius. I don't know about you guys, but I'll put a link below, or I'll connect these together, or you can go look at it. It says Sagittarius moon, and it was channeling and messages and life updates. You might want to check that out. But I mean, that weeks of Scorpio, man, or however long it was, because it was Scorpio season, but then it was the Scorpio moon, like, overlapped the Sagittarius. It was like, you know what I mean? It was fucking harsh. It was harsh, like, all the way around. From the time Scorpio season started in October, the end of October, until just like a few days ago, I was a shit show. I mean, and Bubba had hit, like, I mean, I said that to her. That's what's happening. I'm like, it's the end of the Scorpio moon. We're done. And she has been telling me off and on, because I rescued her. Her birthday has been all different times, all different months, all different. Welcome. Feel free to ask a question of spirit. You are welcome here. If you can't, it's because you have to subscribe for a month to be able to ask questions. It's free. and this is me giving, but this is me giving back to my subscribers, those who have been with me at least a month or more. And if you're new here, again, doesn't slight you in any way. You are welcome here. So now when I do this again in a month, or maybe they're just having me do this today. I'm not quite sure. You know, if you're new here, that's the one thing about me. I'm a true medium. I walk the old way, meaning like I wake up and I do my things, and then I say to Spirit, how may I serve today? How can I help? And then they decide how my day is going to go. And, you know, however I can be of service. It was National Giving Day. I was very excited about that. Yeah, you know, all of the things that happen that they don't happen to us, they happen for us. And if you know anything about Scorpio, it's not just about the scorpion or, you know, spirit, right? Because the eagle is also a representation of Scorpio. But what's the third animal? The freaking phoenix, man. The phoenix rising out of the ashes. So I said that to Baba. I was like, here we go. I'm like, here it is. I'm like, these are the last days of the Scorpio moon. Are you going to rise out of the ashes, or are you going to cross over to the other side? I'm like, I'll hold you until you die. Or I said, we will go to the vet tomorrow and we will do it in, you know, however you want to do it. I'm like, you tell me. I'm like, because if you don't make a decision, I'm going to make a decision for you. Because she was just getting to the point where, I mean, she couldn't even hold her body up. She was going to the bathroom. Anywhere there was like, it didn't matter. It was, I'd never had of her. I'd never seen her do anything like that. She was throwing up everything she was eating. It didn't matter what we gave her, or what I gave her. It was a very intense time. But then when it came to it, and I like got in her face and was just like, what do you want to do? I'm like, you need to tell me. I had to do tough love with her. She started to fight back, man. She was like Rocky. That's why I posted a shorts. You'll see in the shorts, I did a thing for Baba, and I don't always post Baba in the shorts, but I was like, she needed to be in there. And it was really powerful, right? Because she was like, I started to watch her. And now over the last several days, I don't know if she's just having a nice way out and that was whatever, or if she's going to get better, but she has been getting better and she has been doing better. So, you know, sometimes we have to be pushed up against it. Sometimes we have to have our backs completely up against the wall before we can fully accept like who we are and our path and all of that, right? Like, it's no joke what's happening on the planet right now. It's absolutely positively no joke. This is not for the faint of heart. You know, I mean, if you look at everything from the world, it's, you know, tropical or Vedic astrology. It doesn't matter if I think I'm saying those correctly. You know, the Chinese astrology, it doesn't matter. I mean, it matters in terms of like, see how it doesn't matter where those come from, where they derive from, what part of the world. They all come together for a reason. Just like the Aztec calendar, everybody was like, you know, I mean, I remember my family members was absolutely convinced that the world was going to end. And there was a lot of people that believed them. And I was like, no, she's not alone. There's a lot of people that really believe that. I mean, it's look at it in history, you know, if anything, she's smart, she knows. And it was the end of that world. Like, it was the end of that era. It was the end of that energy. And now here we are, you know, 12 years later. I mean, I didn't even think about that because it was 2012. I'm almost 100% sure that it was 2012 when that happened, when it ended. I guess I can look on my phone, but they're telling me not to. But it makes sense because next year is going to be next year is going to be like the Tower card in the tarot. And if you're not familiar with it, look it up. But remember that with everything that breaks, everything that crumbles down has to, you know what I mean? Like, everything has to come to that rock bottom before we can build back up. So we're in the process of it, because next year is a 9-year. We're not there yet. 2026 is a 10-year, and that's completion. And what's 2027? 11. Number of angels. So there's just so many powerful things. Baba has food and water. So if you hear her, then you hear her. Anyway, so that's what they're trying to show us, is that, you know, the things that we used to use our magic and manifestation for, a lot of it was out of survival, right? Oh, did you see how that shifted? Oh, I just got the chills. It was out of survival. And a lot of us have been in survival mode for a long time and using magic and manifestation without even realizing that that's what we're doing is manifesting and making magic. We don't even realize we're doing it until it's like right there in face. Or if you ever notice, if you keep your if you think negatively, or if there's something that is quote unquote that you're like concerned is going to happen, if you're concerned that it's going to happen and you keep thinking the negative side of it, then that's all you're going to get is the negative side of it. But if you keep thinking positively, then the positive energy will come to you. It's cause and effect, and energy is energy. So no matter what avatars we live in or what we believe in or where you come from, whatever, you don't even have to believe in what I believe in. You don't even have to, if you found yourself here, you know what I mean? It's like whatever it is, it's just energy is energy. And one of the greatest scientists of all time, Einstein, said the greatest mystery, the greatest energy in the universe is love. And it's the one thing that people fight because over centuries and just such long periods of time, we have been conditioned to have so many different types of fears that these fears have led to so many things. You know, did you ever hear that saying where they say, if you're depressed, you're living in the past. If you have anxiety, you're living in the future. But if you're peaceful, it's because you're in the present, you're in the moment, because you're not thinking about what happened. You're not thinking about what might happen. You're just happy being where you are. And that's what they're trying to show us. That's where the real magic and manifestation happens. That's where it happens in the present, in that present moment. And welcome. You're not, no one, your name doesn't come up. I have no idea who you are. You don't have to say anything. I'm just saying welcome because I see that you're here. If you are a subscriber, you are welcome to ask Spirit a question. We are reading from the Dragon Path Oracle deck. I was really drawn to do this today because it's Giving Tuesday, and I'm going to continue on this. We spoke about this at the beginning, but since we have, I don't know if you were watching this whole thing or not, but the reason why they have Giving Tuesday is because of the gluttony that has become America, the gluttony. And there's nothing wrong with having dreams and manifestations, of course not, and magic. That's all great. But it's just, this mine, or people killing each other for a TV deal, or I mean, that's just things have just gotten out of control. And whoever created, I didn't look, I was just drawn to do this today, but whoever created Giving Tuesday really had it on the money because, we've got Black Friday on Friday, Small Business Saturday. Like I said, I don't remember what Sunday is, but Monday is Cyber Monday. So yeah, giving back on Tuesday, that makes sense. So that's what I'm doing here today. I only limited the questions to the subscribers that have been here a month or more. Spirit specifically had me do that to say thank you, thank you, thank you. So whomever shows up here, or maybe like I said, maybe nobody has a question. They just want to be here for the messages. But maybe it was because somebody found the channel. But, if you're just coming here for a quick question and leaving, you're not really supporting the community, right? Even if I don't subscribe to, if I am drawn to a reading, even if I don't subscribe to that reader, I definitely like it. And if I'm drawn to, I comment. Liking something and commenting and subscribing is showing your support, not just the person that is giving that energy, but it's also for yourself. And you're saying, you're giving to the universe. You're saying, thank you so much for this transaction, or as they say, this exchange of energy. And that's what it is. It's an energy exchange. So I'm going to continue reading from the book because, this magic and manifestation, such great messages. Whenever they have me stop the messages, I know that, whatever I'm saying is what is meant to be said for whoever needs to hear it. So it says, okay, so magic and manifestation carry the limit of magic and manifestation and warn, be sure and clear in your intentions when invoking our presence, for we are the alchemists. Is what you are asking for what you truly desire? Will it serve and benefit your higher purpose? Call upon us when you want things to swoop into your life. We are here to help turn your dreams into reality, change your world, and support you as you undertake your journey. Look deep inside and ask what it is you really want. Once you are clear about your choices, we will assist you in achieving them. See, look at that. And welcome to those of you who've joined. These dragons will dive to your aid when you need any kind of practical support. If you need help on a specific aspect of your physical existence here on Earth, you can call upon their dynamism. I love it, to help you manifest it. These dual dragons are known as the miracle makers. The miracle makers. Okay. Would anyone like to ask a question? Now, it doesn't have to be a personal question. If you're somebody who doesn't like to share your personal life with people, there is nothing wrong with that. Absolutely, positively, nothing wrong with that. So if you are just here, the sun's going in a weird place, so it's getting dark, and I don't know if that means they want me to. So let me see. Do we want to put my face on the screen now? I was kind of getting that energy too. They had me not show my face. But there were people coming on and coming off. I don't know if it was the same person or if it was multiple people, but there were a lot of people coming on and coming off during this transmission. I can't even believe it was 56 minutes. It went by. It feels like it's been like 20 minutes maybe. Okay, so I'm going to be very careful. Hi. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, so hi. I was like, I guess they want me to do it like this. So I'm going to back up a little bit. I'm going to move my candle forward. Move this over here. I feel like this wants to come here. Okay. And now we can put the card here. So it says the magical medium turned on subscribers only mode. Okay. So if you're here, it must mean that you're new or you don't want to participate, and that's okay. You, I'm feeling a lot of, if it's okay, you don't have to say who you are, but I can tell you this, I can feel a really somber energy around you. I kind of feel like you really need this. So whoever you are, you don't have to say, like I said, just because it shows that someone's here, it doesn't say who you are. Also, people can be on here incognito. And if they're in incognito, they won't be able to ask questions either. So what I'm going to do is, maybe this answered your question already for someone. But now I'm going to say, Spirit, for anyone who is here, incognito or otherwise, if they have a question, all you have to do is ask Spirit, and it will go divinely through these cards. So I'm going to leave it a blank canvas for you and for me. And Spirit will know what question you want to ask. Okay. Okay. I knew it because they were here earlier. All right, I have to go. I want to say it's a syphilis, a syphilis. No, it's either that I keep saying that and later on I laugh and go, it's not syphilis. You know what I mean? Or it is, or that's how I remembered it. But it's like a syphilis. A syphilis, I believe that's how you say their name. It's really powerful. So magic and manifestation are going to be here with us. I'm just going to put them right here. Here we go. Yay! We got our little magic ball. I feel like this was here for somebody too. Maybe you're a scryer. Do you see things in clouds? Or that's why, if you guys notice, if you look in my shorts, it's all over the map because I'm the magical medium. I mean, I do all sorts of stuff. And if you haven't subscribed, maybe this is your time to subscribe, because maybe that'll be the thing from now on, that you need to be at least here a month before you can ask questions. Or maybe it's like this, where it's you're asking through telepathy. Okay, so this is card number 27. You guys remember earlier I was saying that I felt a syphilis energy. Oh my gosh. Because I saw their card, but then also when we were at 3727, I was saying I feel like that's for something. So here we go. Because they're number 27, which is also the number 9, which could also mean something about next year, because it says on here, it is your journey and yours alone. So I feel like for next year, for 2025, it's going to be a really powerful, transformative year for everybody. Like I said, it's going to feel like a tower year. However, I feel like whoever asked this question, and maybe, like I said, it's for everybody, but I feel like whomever asked this question, I mean, it literally, the first quote is, it is your journey and your journey alone. So I feel like 2025 is a message that it's time for you to do it alone, go it alone, take this journey alone, you know? Oh my gosh. I was like, I look like, I feel like that. Do you ever see Jamie Lee Curtis with Lindsay Lohan? They're doing a remake of that, or not a remake, but like them older. What are they, Freaky Friday, you know? The original one, I think, was with Jodie Foster, but anyway, I digress, where she's like, I look like the Crypt Keeper. I was so tan all summer, so now I'm like, and if I segue into that from 16 Candles, where at the beginning, where she's like, I don't have a smidge of tan left. Maybe I need to do that kind of thing. Anyway, I'm alive. Sorry. Okay, so a syphilis, ASCLEPIUS. I'm almost positive it's somewhere in that realm. Okay, so they say they were the ancient Greek god of medicine, the son of Apollo, and upon meeting him for the first time, his opening words were, your modern image of the, how do you pronounce this? It's the, it's the snake going around the, it's like, it's not the Ouroboros. Is it Caduceus? Caduce. Oh, I can't see. I don't have my glasses on. They're really challenging me today because they don't want me to. I was going to get new glasses and they don't. They just want me to fix my eyes. So bear with me. Okay. So he's saying your modern image is incorrect. So you'll get this in a minute. He was a healer of great repute in Greek mythology. And this dragon in particular reminds us that inside us too reside great healers. His particular affinity lies with practitioners who, you were asked this question, or whoever this is for, you're meant to work with plants and like healing herbs and medicines and things like that. Maybe that's why they didn't want me to come on until now. Like this was for you, you know, whatever. But you know what, the Caduceus is, you know what I'm talking about, where it's like the snake going around it's a symbol for like a lot of hospitals and health, and it's an old Greek, you know, whatever. That's what so he's saying that it's wrong. I do remember this about Asclepius. They're not ego. They're just very, some of these dragons, or most of the dragons, they're just very matter of fact. Like when I work with them, they can be kind-hearted and loving, but they're very direct. They don't pussyfoot around. They don't bullshit. They don't candy coat, you know, they'll say it lovingly, but they don't candy coat. And Asclepius is like one of those that's like, they don't fuck around. They just say it as it is. I love them. I love working with them. But yeah, so anyway, that's very interesting. So plants, so they're saying something with healing plants. These are the jobs. These are the things to lean into. Okay. So this is your message. And maybe if you found yourself right here, right now, this is your message too. Somebody asked for you, right? So it says herbalism, homeopathy, essential oils, and flower essences in particular. So all of the above, you know what I mean? In like a practice, in a store, maybe you've known it and they're like, we'll take this winter to be alone and work on it. I know this is a message for me because this is something that I've been wanting to do for a really long time. And I definitely feel, I've been getting these visions of certain things lately where I'm like, I feel like I'm like shifting my path a little bit. Like I'll always be this, like I've always been a telepathic medium, right? So I'm always going to be this, but using it to like really help people and be out there to help people. But you know, it's like, I feel like you're not quite ready yet. So either you're not ready because you need to learn, or you're not quite ready yet because maybe you're already doing it, but you're not. Maybe next year is going to be the year for you to work on your business. Maybe this is a message for some of you. I just heard this. Maybe this is a message for some of you to go solo. They're like, did you ever hear of a food truck? They're like, you can do a traveling business. No one says you can't like go around and go to a food court or go to a festival and sell your shit out of a wagon. Last year, was it last year? It was, but there's this festival up here where I live in the Pacific Northwest in the Olympic Peninsula. It's like one of the biggest festivals. It's the biggest lavender festival in the world. And they do it every summer. And I live in the lavender capital of America. So people come here, of course, because lavender is very calming. There's all these things, but it's really fun, really fun. But I started to notice that it's gone very corporate in some ways. And in other ways, it's like staying, so there were people that were selling crystals. I'm like, don't buy those. I was telling people that were there with me. We went in a group and I was like, don't buy. I wouldn't buy. I'm like, I wouldn't buy them. I'm like, that's why I'm not buying them. I'm like, they're either not real or they're really poor quality or they were manufactured. I'm like, I just have a bad vibe about it. Then or no, it was before that, right before we went to the festival, I was driving with my partner and I saw this, it was like a RV and it was set up in a parking lot. And I saw all these people and I just saw crystals, just tables of crystals. And I was like, cool. I'm like, that's fucking so cool. And I was like, pull over. And I ended up getting this. Sorry, I got Bubba hair everywhere. I ended up getting this. It's so beautiful. I met the guy who actually made it. He hand cut the glass himself. I knew he was a wizard. Like I could tell just by talking to him. He was so cool. He said, I come here every year for the Lavender Festival I think he was from Colorado. He's like, I go, you drive all the way here? I'm like, it's worth it too. He's like, oh my gosh, yes. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, because he parks outside of the festival. And now he's so famous for going there and parking there. People know that. So, and he's not doing anything illegal, what he's doing and where he is. And the place that he was when we saw him, he was actually renting that from like his buddy or something, like he was renting the parking lot. So, but I got this for $12. It's as heavy as it looks. It's as beautiful. I mean, it just gives off the most beautiful, magical. I love it. I love. Look at it on the flame. I mean, it is one of the most gorgeous pieces. I've been having it hanging, and the other day, when Mercury retrograde started, I ripped it. I accidentally ripped it. Anyway, long story short, it was meant to come off because it was meant to come here today. But quality. It was a good price, a really good price and good quality. And this is someone who loves it. He's been doing it forever. He was an old, beautiful wizard, and he was there with I don't know if it was his wife or his partner, but and I got a lot of things from him. He was a really cool dude. And so anyway. I'm like, what? Hold on. I'm like, they want me to bring up something in the book to connect this together. So they're saying that if this person did it, you can do the same, but do it like with your herbal truck or like whatever. You know what I mean? You don't have to go to fairs, go to festivals. Things are changing again. Because you notice every time corporations come in and suck the life out of something really awesome, there's going to be people like us that are going to come back in and bring the real shit. And you know what? Now people's eyes are open. It's like, do you want, you can get 3 for $10 of these t-shirts where they're like polyester, made in a foreign country in a sweatshop by children. By the way, when I looked up, it was, all I saw was 111, but now I see it's 109, but to me, it looked like 1111. So that means anything to anybody, but also 109 might mean something to you. But it was like one. So I feel like it's a new beginning, right? They're saying like, so we're at the end of that old world. We're at the end of that, now we're moving forward. Now we're doing all of these things that we're putting into action. Now in 2025, we're going to be putting into action. Thank you, Spirit. We're going to be putting into action all of these things that we've learned, all of these things that we've acquired, all the growth, everything that we have been going through, everything's going to like come together. But we're going to also see a lot of these corporations and the bullshit and the fakery and the fuckery. We're going to be watching them disintegrate, where there are going to be new laws that are like, no, you can't dump your shit here. No, you can't, blah, blah, blah. No, that's illegal. You know what I mean? because we've got dragons like Asclepius that are like, you know what? And they're saying, have faith and hope, unconditional faith, unconditional hope, because that shit's going to go away. Because it's not meant to be here anymore. You know, it served its purpose. You know, every story has to have a hero and a villain. It served its purpose, but it doesn't need to be here anymore like that, you know? So we're coming in saying, no, you don't want the 3 for $10 t-shirts. You want, look at this one. It's $10. She made that herself. $10. That the t-shirt alone probably costs, you know, $6 if she bought them in bulk, and they're organic cotton, or you know what I mean? Like whatever it is. By the way, I just realized something. Hold on. I'm wondering if you guys, because there's people coming on and coming off, and sometimes I find out later it's because the video quality was really bad. So I thought if I put my phone on, I'm putting it up to grab the more of a, I have so many layers on, you guys already know. But I'm putting it up to get this just in case that's part of it. Maybe there's nobody wants to ask any questions. That's okay. Like I said, this was meant to be for whatever it's meant to be for you guys. This was me giving back to you. This was, you know, Give Back Tuesday. But I'm going to put this up here so it'll have like a higher, and I have it going. I have something playing, the Tree of Life. It wasn't the Ouroboros. Why can I not think of it? Every time I see that word, by the way, I'm going back to the I feel like now I can take this off. Hold on. I'm like, I'm getting hot. Hold on. Static. Is it Caduceus? Oh, it's gonna drive me crazy. But every time I see it, I remember, like when I hear it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's how it's pronounced. And I remember it. And then I'm like, why can't I remember that word? But you know what I'm talking about. Or if you don't, maybe you're not supposed to, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean anything. Who cares? You know, this is something that you're meant to do. Like, this is something that, you know, it was put into your orbit for a reason. I was put into your orbit for a reason, or you were meant to come on here for a reason. I was going to say, I'm like, all of a sudden, it's like the sun came out and the heater's in front of me. And I'm like, I'm so hot. I'm like, I saw my hair tie and I'm like, I'm putting my hair up. Because when you put a knot on your head, it's kind of like wearing I always like to cover my crown chakra when I'm working with spirit, but I'm like, I always feel like a top knot is just as good. And then one time I was doing one of these readings and a woman came on. She was a Japanese woman. She was actually from, I think she was like, saw this from Japan. And she was like, it's true. She's like, that's why the monks wear the top knot on top to protect their connection with the divine. Okay, so let's finish this card, and then feel free to, if you're a subscriber, you are more than welcome to ask a question, okay? So it says, we talked about herbalism, homeopathy, essential oil, flower essences. Add to this rather shamanic energy and his affinity with snakes, and he is a powerful ally. Of course, because it's the year of the snake. January 25th is the year of the snake, 2025. So Asclepius is saying, like, call on him. And if I get the pronunciation wrong, I'll get a link and put it in my community section. So we all say it right. So when we're talking to him, we say it correctly. I said, I'm like, I'll do it right now. And they're like, no. They're like, leave everything, like, let people, because sometimes it's for you guys to look up on your own. Like, they want you to, like, to do it. Like, you're meant to do that yourself. And I guess if you can't see the card, it's not that big of a deal. I'm like, totally. These are like my lounge. Like, I was literally working on food and like clothes. Like, these are, I'm like not super like put together, but I don't really care. Okay. So yeah, that's so crazy. So that's why he was saying that about the Caduceus or whatever it is, because, you know, it's like he is identifying with the snake energy. So he's like, hey, like, here's his version of it. Okay. I'm feeling a he energy, right? Or a masculine energy, because divine masculine, because they're saying he. So it says, Asclepius is a dragon of the healer and the shaman. His wisdom is boundless. If he has flown into your reading today, know that you have his abundant knowledge at your side. Continuing with his practical help for your physical life, he asks you if you need the support of a professional with knowledge of healing plants or if it's time for you to undertake training in one of the areas mentioned above, or indeed shamanism. Alongside his ability to support those working with plant energies, he is a powerful ally when we are ready for the next phase of our transformational journey of life. His presence in your cards today reminds you that together you create the immense combination of transmutation and transformation. Deep within, you know you can and will succeed. That's right. Like, you know it. Like, you know it. Like, we're good. I'm like, all of a sudden, I'm like just feeling this like really heavy energy. Like, you guys can't really see me. I'm like, hi. Like, I don't know what's going on. But these are my videos that I love the most because they're just so real. I'm being myself. Because there's so many energies here, and you guys are here, and Bubba's here, and it's sometimes it could just be really overwhelming for me. Okay, so he has this, Asclepius has this to say: you are on the cusp of transformation, so allow me to guide you forward along the winding road. Remember, hold on to what you know to be true, for it is your journey and yours alone. Life never stands still. It is forever changing and evolving. Together, we can transmute that which binds you, accepting that your journey on earth is about life, death, and rebirth as you transform and grow personally and spiritually. And I'm going to say this. I'm going to close this card. I don't know if we'll do any more, but this particular card, I'm going to close this with saying that you will have no choice but to change, because the world around you will change. Whether you have the courage and the bravery to change yet, it won't matter, because in the eye of the storm, you will remember your strength. You will remember who you are. Everything will come together. You will stop feeling sorry for yourself. You will stop being a victim. You will push yourself forward. You will do it. I promise you. I promise you. I've done it. I've been there. I've watched it happen. Like I said, I watched Bubba. I watched Alder. I've watched all three of us. Oh, did you see that go over the flame? I've watched my family transform. I've watched everything. I've seen it. And I know that change is possible because I've seen it. Now, I also believe that we are meant to all go through it alone. It's kind of like a rebirth. Like, you know, even if you come into this world, I've said this before, it's a good analogy, because even if you come into this world, a twin, a triplet, a quadruplet, I don't care. You still come into this world as your own entity. You are a soul living in this avatar that you're in right now. So while you are in this avatar, you get to decide. You know, I remember I was watching this thing. It was really powerful. It was a documentary about prison POWs, prisoners of war. And it was all different wars. It wasn't just Vietnam or the Korean War. It was prisoners of war. And it was really powerful. And a lot of them, almost all of them, like the common thread of why they survived was because they had to just surrender, not just that their bodies were taken, you know what I mean, but they had to surrender to the fact that they were either going to die there, and that's how they would die, or surrender to what was happening and just stay in their good memories and their good thoughts, so that they could stay in a high vibration to get themselves out of there. You know, some of them are like, I just had to stay alive. It wasn't a question. I had to stay alive for my family. I had to, you know, and those are soldiers. Those are warriors. And just because you and I are not fighting with guns and knives or any type of physical battle, we are still fighting the battle of spirit, the battle of a divine feminine, masculine, the battle of light and shadow, the battle of good and evil. Like, we are here and we can't give up. It's not an option. Giving up is not an option. It's not an option. We have to keep going. We can fall down. We can get upset. We can whatever, but we have to get back up. We have to get back up. We have to get back up. So when you're down and out, feel it. Go to rock bottom. When I was at rock bottom with Bubba, I said in one of my other videos, like, I mean, I was like sitting like this and I was crying. And actually I was sitting like this and I was like crying like this. And Bubba and her frail little frame, where I swear to God, she was going to like die any second,
We both reeked of urine. I was like, everything was like urine soaked and puke and whatever. I couldn't get a hold of Alder, which was so weird because it showed that I messaged him, but I saw his phone. He didn't get it. He's like, I didn't get it. He didn't delete anything between there. He's like, I swear to God, I would have, I'm like, no, I know. But it was like, we were meant to go through that. And we were meant to go through that together. And she like crawled up into here and I just like held her, and she was bones, man. She like was at death's door, and she just like kind of hugged against me, and we just like held each other. And I was like, this is it, I'm like, this is rock bottom. I'm like, let go, man, just let go. Like, we've been, 12 plus years together. I'm like, thank you. And we both I cried, but it was the way she came up, like, I'm so sorry, and I was like, it's okay. I was like, I forgive you. I'm like, do you forgive me? And it was just this, rock bottom moment. And I was like, we forget that animals are just as powerful as we are. She had to hit her rock bottom moment. And she had to hit it in Scorpio season. You guys know I call her Baba the Great for a reason, because she's Baba Yaga. She's a badass motherfucker. Like, she's hardcore. She's hardcore. I have either fostered or had my own animals or babysat, whatever. I have been working with animals my entire life. I have never, ever, ever met anyone like Baba. I've never met any creature as powerful as her. I've never met, I mean, that's why she has her own channel. That's why there's a link on here if you want to see it, Baba the Great. That's why I call her Baba the Great. I mean, when I would call her cute names like Chi-Chi and Monkey, she like looks at me like, it's just hilarious. But when I call her Baba, she's like, it's like she kind of stands in her. And then I found out in India that Baba means father. So it's like, but she is definitely a female cat. I know, I brought her to the vet when I rescued her, and they're like, it's a girl. And, but she's very, very heavy masculine energy. She's very strong witch dragon. She definitely was a dragon in another life. Like, there's absolutely no doubt in my mind. And so we need to honor these energies and honor this part of ourselves, Oh, wait. Oh, hi, Jordan. Oh, yay. Okay, Jordan, let me finish my thought and I'm going to get to you. This is really exciting. Cool. I'm so glad you're here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh my gosh. Oh, I have so much. Anyway, I'll be with you in a second. I swear. Thank you so much for being here. Love you, love you, love you. Anyway, but yeah, it's like, Baba had to get to that point. I had to get to that point. And I noticed the other day when I was saying to my partner, like, I was like, I miss you. Like, I feel like you're meant to come home. Yeah, I could just see that he's like, I'm not ready. I don't want to do that, whatever. And I was like, I'm not going to force you then, so I feel like right now singularity is like so important. And for us to like really like gather in our divine energy with spirit and work it out. And it makes sense the divine masculine is happening because spirit showed me recently that it's like, it's the divine masculine and divine feminine, right? But it's like, God doesn't have a sex. Goddess, you know what I mean? Like we've given God a masculine and goddess a feminine. Like we just have to always have this. Yes, it's great in the balance. And yes, that's real. I understand, but the creator, whatever we come from, is both. So it's like, it's interesting to me. When they talk about, hermaphrodites and all that, it's like, if anything, aren't they like, I mean, they were given both, right? Like, that's so interesting. I'm sure they wouldn't, I don't know them. I can't speak for them and say how they feel, but I'm just saying like how interesting and intense that must be, to, especially as a child, because your parents have to choose for you, right? If you don't keep both. So that's a whole other story, but that's interesting. So, okay. Jordan. Hi, Jordan. Okay, so I'm asking to know how to have peace of mind in these times, how to feel safe being psychic and not be afraid of haters. I'm going to push this to the side because I want to make sure I'm reading this right because I don't have my glasses on. This is really important. And I'm feeling this need to come forward. Okay. All right, hold on. And I feel like I need to go. Okay. I wonder why my question hasn't shown up. I've been a subscriber for a long time. Yeah, I know. Thank you so much, Jordan. And you know what? I think that's why they had me only. This is the first time. I don't know if it's a new feature or I don't really use my laptop a lot, but they specifically had me put on subscribers for a month or more. So maybe it's for like I said, so people can't just come on here and whatever. It's like, you're like, no, I've been a subscriber a long time. I need some assistance right now. So let's get to the bottom of your question. Okay. So I don't know how much you've seen. Jordan, have you been here since I started this? because I don't know how much you've seen. Like, I don't know if you saw the readings for these, because I was kind of just talking for a while, and then so we have magic and manifestation and Asclepius. Okay. So we're going to answer Jordan. We're going to talk to the dragons. We're going to ask Jordan's question. So, I mean, I feel like I could answer for you, but since the dragons are here, I'm going to come in and I'm going to get a little bit closer. Hi. I'm really in my comfies. I mean, seriously, I'm like, I've got so much on because I live off grid, you know, so I have to do what I can. Also, I'm feeling like they want me to move this. So I'm going to put this. Jordan, I was meant to show you this right now. And also what's so cute about it is this angel really wanted to come in, and I feel like this is for you. So you've been here 20 minutes. Okay, cool. Jordan, I want you, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to watch It's a Wonderful Life all the way through, no commercials, by yourself. Really watch it. This was gifted to me by a dear friend of mine a long time ago. And it says, every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings, which is kind of funny because the bell broke on this. But I'm hearing for you to get something to clear your energy, like a bell. That I heard right away, to get something like that, like a bell, or maybe you have sound, some type of sound therapy. Sound therapy would be really good. Headphones. I just heard headphones. And also, Jordan, feel free to interact with me right here. Now I'm here to put my hat on. Okay. I feel like I'm getting out of business. Okay. All right, here we come. Here we go. So those of you who don't know, I'm not going to tell our whole story unless you want to share it, Jordan. But Jordan hasn't just been a subscriber for a long time, but Jordan, we've known each other for, I don't know how many years. Jordan and I met when I was working at Psychic Sister in Olympia, Washington, and they came in for a reading. And this is where I always tell people, there's nothing like, you're where you're supposed to be when you're there. And I say that because when I first met Jordan, and to this day, Jordan, just so you know, 7 years. Yeah, about 7 years. When I met Jordan, so how old were you when we met, Jordan? Because you were young, but you also look really young. So like you could have been 22 young, but you could have been 17 young, and I don't remember. If you don't mind sharing your age, because I'm also, oh, you're 25. Okay, cool. Quarter of a century. Yeah, so you were a baby. That's right. I was gonna say, but even to this day, and I'm going to be 53 next Friday. In all of my years that I have been here, I have only seen a few people that had a light around them like Jordan. To this day, to the point where I saw Jordan, I saw Jesus when I saw Jordan, and I was so taken aback by his energy and his magnificence that I literally was like, Your Honor, like, I wasn't sure what to do. I didn't know if I should, you know what I mean? Because I was like, this is a really, really beautiful, special, magical. I was like, I don't know who or what you are, but I was like, you are special. And then I saw Jesus on the cross. I saw all these really powerful things. And I was like, I don't know. And I remember saying to Spirit, do I say this to you? Do I not? I'm like, how do you say this to somebody? Like, how do you say, I think you're Jesus? You know, like, how do you, sorry, just spit. But I felt like I did more damage than good. I wanted Jordan to be in my world, but then I was like, I didn't know what I was doing. So it was a really challenging time for both of us, because here I am, a perfect stranger to them, and them not knowing what's going on. And then all of a sudden, like, you know, I don't want to speak for you, Jordan, but, and feel free to speak for yourself, but there was nothing like it. I'd never, so we were both kind of going through it at the same time. And he was a great lesson for me. They were a great lesson for me, because I felt, I mean, speaking of, you know, energies that are like, I feel like that's what it felt like. It's like, I just felt love. I just felt immense love. Like I had never, just purity and love and consciousness and So I can understand why you would feel that way, Jordan, because the world, because of where you come from, and I'm not going to share your background because it's nobody's business, but just from what I remember of your background and the world you came from, that's a very, I mean, how can you not feel confused? I mean, when I was 25, I was confused too. By the time I was 25, I think I tried to kill myself at least 3 or 4 times, because I could hear people's thoughts. I didn't understand that's what was happening. I was telepathic medium, but didn't understand. And you call yourself a psychic. So now do you think of yourself when you say psychic, because you wrote it, okay? And this isn't a quiz or anything like that. This is like very genuine. I was so drawn to do this today, Jordan. So I definitely feel like, and in fact, I thought I was like, this must be for Anna. Cause like, you know, hovering around Anna's birthday, one of our, I call her the president of Magical Medium. She's been with us since the beginning. I met her when I was on Instagram. We don't even know each other. But anyway, this connection that's happening right now on the planet with all of us is so, it's so real and it's so tangible, and it's the most tangible it's ever been. And the third dimensional world, everybody can feel like that the lines are blurring, like all of the worlds are bleeding into each other. That's why you feel so out of it, because all of the worlds are blending into each other. And that can be a very confusing and scary place when you're like, I live in this world, but like, this is what my world is like. You know what I mean? So, and because I've gone through it myself, but then I also watch other people, like when I'm in public and I have a conversation with somebody about things like this, I see how confused they are. They're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to feel. I don't know how to be. It could be circumstances too, you know, like depending on like where you are or where you're living or who you're around or like what job you have. Those things can make huge influences on how you're handling this right now too. So we're going to ask the cards specifically. So I'm going to go by your questions. So the first question was, how to have peace of mind in these times. So let's see whoa, look at that. I feel like, it's almost like these guys want to go back in here. I heard grounding. Hearn came in. I heard grounding, being outside as much as possible. I'm barefoot. I'm barefoot a lot, unless it's really cold in here, then I have my socks on. But like even now it's like 30 in the 30s. When it's in the 30s outside, I still walk around barefoot. It really helps. It helps me divinely be connected. It really, really genuinely helps me be divinely connected. So, oh, did we lose you, Jordan? Well, either way, I'm going to answer your question for you. So even if you guys like go off, it's like, you know, and you leave or whatever, I'm still going to answer your question. Okay, so here's the answer to that question. But getting out in nature, I heard, that's for you, Jordan, but obviously for everybody, this is like a blanket. Like we really, really need to connect to nature as much as possible, even when it's cold. Even when it's cold. I know that's not super awesome, but even when it's cold, we have to connect to nature. Okay, so your first question, Jordan, is how to have peace of mind in these times. And it's very interesting because this is the cover of the deck too. Emergence. See, we're so close. We're so close. You came in here 20 minutes ago. If you go back and watch the whole thing, a lot of this will make sense to you. So, but we're so close. 2025 is going to be a really big year for all of us. Also, look at it's a number 11. Hello, Angel. Hello, Angel. Okay. And that's what I think it is. I mean, honestly, Jordan, if you feel like you're because I feel like we're all Christ consciousness. You know what I mean? Like when they're saying, oh, like the return of Christ back then, I was like, it was just confusing to me because I'd never had such a real representation of Jesus in my face like that ever. Not like that. Not like where you like morphed into Jesus in front of me. I've never seen that. So I was confused. I didn't know. And I've said it and I'll still stand by it today. I'm like, you could be. I don't know. But I feel like as I find the light, but I feel like we are all like the second coming of Christ is us. We are Christ. We are Christ consciousness. We are love consciousness. Jesus became a religion because he had to for history and blah, 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 and the whole entire purpose. But at the same time, we are all all of us who come from the heart, from our empathy, from our heart chakra. That is Christ. We are all Christ consciousness. But you definitely, Jordan, have a light inside of you that is so angelic and so pure and so real. And it's I mean, I haven't seen you since then, but like that's something that just doesn't go away. You know what I mean? No matter what you've done or what has happened, like that would never go away. Okay, it says, I was rejected by my family shortly after I met you. They think I'm crazy. Yeah, I know. Well, that's why I feel like that's why we were meant to be, because your family was holding you back from who you are. Your family, you weren't the only person that was going through that. Like a lot of people at that time, I mean, I helped this person get off medication that had been on medication most of her life. And she got off of it because I was like, you're on medication for them, not for you. I'm like, you're crazy is your fucking magic. That's your purpose. You're weird is your purpose. So if people want to drug you, it's like they're like, come back to the, be like us, be the same. Because the more we all break apart and become our true selves and our true identity and follow our true purpose, the more like these companies and corporations, well, they can't control. So if they can't control it, then they can't, you know what I mean? So I know it's harsh to leave your family. In fact, you know what, Jordan, you're see what I mean? Like you're more, and not that this is like a competition or whatever, but like I give you props, and probably why I just knew inherently then that I felt that way towards you was if you have not spoken to your family or been around your family since I've seen you, then you are, because I had just started to break up with my family then, but I didn't fully break up with my mom until almost 4 years ago. So you're a fucking champion. It is not easy to do. But it has to be done sometimes. If your partner, your family, your friends, your boss, anywhere, I don't care where, what, who, if they are telling you you're crazy or something's wrong with you and you have found yourself here today, the only thing wrong with you is the company that you keep and the job that you keep, because they're not your people. And if you're here, it's because you come from the stars. We none of us are from here, but like you come here from a place that's like so much bigger. And Jordan, you come from the angel realm. I'm sure I told you this before, but you are definitely an earth angel. And I know it feels like it's never going to get easier, but it is. It is, because interesting that you're 25 and we're about to go into 2025. I feel like this was your last year of hardship. And now, because 25 is, if you look at 7, like let's just use the 7 of Wands, for example. The 7 of Wands in the tarot, oh my gosh, it's like they're like pushing uphill, right? Like they're just like, this sucks. Like, I don't want to be here. Like, I don't want to do this, but you got to keep pushing forward. For some of you, it's going to be a quick overnight thing. And for some of you, it's going to take a while. You think I don't feel that way? I've been working my ass off. I work on my YouTube channels every fucking day. It is rare, and I mean rare, that I am not working. If I'm not working on my channels, I'm working on myself, or I'm doing a reading privately. Like I am always working with spirit. And, it can be challenging. And there are days where I'm like, I deserve more. I should, like, don't I deserve this, or don't I deserve that, blah, blah. But here it is, the year of the dragon. I'm a dragon. And my birthday is on Friday the 13th this year. And it's really, lucky. Like, all these cool things are happening. I'm almost at 1,000 subscribers. And I feel like they're going to do that for my birthday. I don't know, but we'll see. But I'm not planning on it anymore. Like, I'm not like putting it out there like, oh, this better happen. Or, once I let go of, we spoke about this earlier. If you're feeling depressed, it's because you're living in the past. And if you're feeling anxiety, Jordan, you're feeling anxiety because you're in the future. But it's okay, because look what's around you. It's fucking scary. However, it's only around you on your phone, on your computer. You know what I mean? If you are in nature and you don't have your phone, you won't feel that energy. For those of us who are sensitives, we feel that siphoned energy. Like we are really feeling that siphoned energy. Be mindful. That's why I don't go live very often. Like the last few weeks going through all that with Bubba, there's no fucking way I could have gone live. I was like, you could see me. Like, I just have been finally sleeping, and I still don't sleep through the night because I'm sleeping with her, and she's nocturnal. She's a cat. So, I haven't had a full straight hours of sleep in so long, but that's where I'm at. That's what's happening. I'm helping my familiar through a rough time. My partner and I are both going through our own stuff. It just is what it is, where it is. So all I can ask you, Jordan, is to meet yourself where you're at. Meet the planet where it's at. Meet the universe where it's at. Meaning, like, when I say that, I'm saying like emergence. This is you. You're about to break free. You're about to have your breakthrough. You're about to have your breakthrough. I feel like we're going to pull another card. And what I'm going to do, Jordan, is I'm going to read your comment and then we're going to read this. And I feel like there's going to be, because you have another question. So I feel like we're going to have another card as well. And, these messages, maybe it's just for you. Maybe it is for more than one person. But either way, I'm feeling like this really strong, like you're about to burst out of it. 7 is a difficult number. But also my life path is 7, and 7 is also a very spiritual number. So research in numerology, the number 7. I want you to work with that. When's your birthday, by the way? I'm going to read your comment, but tell me when your birthday is. Because I feel like they're saying something about your birthday, and I'm like, well, yeah, he's a quarter of a century, or and they're like, no. So there's something going on with your birthday. Okay, hold on, I just want to make sure. Okay, cool. Sometimes when Baba's going, she's having certain issues, so I just got to make sure she's got her pee pads. Anyway, okay, so it says, I asked a shaman if I was a returned ascended master, and the message was yes, of course you are. I don't know what that means, though. I have had to burn through a lot of karma anyway. Yeah, probably. Okay, so February. Oh, it was 25 when I saw you. You were 25 when I saw you. You're 32 now. Fuck, Jordan, that's crazy. Oh, but isn't that interesting? 7 years. Earlier in the video, if you missed it, oh, look at Bubba. Look at Bubba saying hi, you guys. She said, look, I'm still alive. Bubba's saying hi to you, Jordan. She's saying hi to anybody who watches this. And she definitely wants to say happy birthday. You want to say happy birthday to Anna, Bubba? Do you want to say happy birthday to Anna? Oh, she's sending you good juju, Anna. But that's crazy because you were 25, which is 7. Now you're 32, which is 5. And 5s are about change and transformation. So you are about to embark. Holy shit balls on a cracker. Jesus was 32. What the fucking fuck? That's so crazy. That's what I'm saying. You definitely have something in there. And if it comes through, it will. But I feel like you're talking to the dragons right now. So if anything is meant to come through, it will. So February 20th, 1992. Okay, so 1992. So, okay, so, oh my gosh. So you are a 25. You're a life path 7 like me. Yep. So look up number 7 in numerology, but then also look up life path 7. But we were talking about this earlier about Native American shamans and talking about how every 7 years our bodies go through change, whatever transformation, and that the number 49 is actually more pivotal in our transformational midway than 50. 49 is actually because 7 times 7 is 49. So I want you to work with that and research ascended masters. Anytime me or anybody that you trust, a spiritual leader that you trust, if they are coming to you in a way, you know what I mean? Like if in this way or however they show up, take everything they say to heart and research it, because that's what I did. Every single from the witches to the Native American shamans to the gypsy witches, all types of witches. I worked with them all. But I've worked with the Asian culture in all different ways, from the Buddhist. But it's the common thread of all of that is that if you're getting a message, it's for you to look it up. You are an ascended master and you're here to do major work. I wouldn't be surprised. Were you here when we were talking about how, like, working with herbalism and things like that? Because again, you know what, when we're done with this, when you have time, go back and watch this from the beginning. It may make a lot more sense to you. You know what I mean? Because I feel like some of your answers we already kind of said. So I'm going to leave that there for a second. And if you're burning through karma, it could be, I don't know if I've ever shared this story with you, but since it's coming up, I'm going to share it with you. When I was going through my awakening, one of the past lives that I had to make peace with was during the time of the Puritans. It looked like I was living here in the United States, of the Puritans, right? So, and it was like definitely in that time of like witches getting hanged and burned and all that kind of stuff. So I was known in the village for being an herbalist and helping people heal. Those who believed and didn't, tell anybody, those who I really trusted and they trusted me, we would talk about things like this. There were other witches in whatever, but something happened where information got in the wrong hands. And I don't know exactly what happened. I've never been shown the whole story. I've been shown it like if somebody shows you a movie and you see like flashes, or if you're watching like a trailer for a movie, it was kind of like that. So I saw the highlights of what happened, but they didn't take me into the things. During some of my past regression like therapy, when I needed to I've literally like almost thrown up black before, like when your body's like rejecting. I've had shamans work on me and pull things out of me. And you know what I mean? Like you can feel the things, you can feel the hooks of the darkness that hung on to you. And so when I was going through this and I was coming into what I am now, when all of that was happening, I was having a lot of things that were holding me back. And then finally, one of the witches that I worked with, one of the first shamans that I worked with, she said, the only way for you to do that is to go into like a trance ceremony so you can kind of figure it out. She goes, whether you go through it on your own or you do it with a professional, she's like, but you're going to have to figure it out, because until you heal that, she's like, this karma and the shitty stuff and all this bullshit is going to keep happening to you. Right? Because like even the way I'm living now, like it's not horrible. I have a roof over my head, whatever. But I used to say things like, I used to live in a vintage high rise with a doormat. And like that made me so much better than everybody else. But that's part of the fucking problem, right? I needed to like be humbled and come down to where I was, because I know I was royalty, or like had, you know what I mean? Like definitely through my ancestors. My grandmother is like convinced that there's like royalty through our lineage. And I'm like, there probably is, you know what I mean? Like, so with that being said, what happened was, I was off helping someone back in this Puritan time. I was off helping somebody, and it was a good day and everything was awesome. And all I saw was me walking through the forest. And then I'm walking home, trying to get home to my girls, because my girls were sitting with, I don't know if she was my sister or like a friend who was like a sister, but I believe I had 3 girls and a sister. And when I came around the corner, they were hanging from the trees. When it still hits me. So a rage took over me that I don't even think in that lifetime I understood. I knew I was a witch. I knew I was a healer, but I don't think even I understood what my powers were. And I went in and I killed basically the whole town. And I think I may have died in the process or something, but I don't know. All I know is that I just went through and was like killing people. I was like a witch, like this. Like I saw it. I saw where like people were like, I was like going like this, and they were flying up against, and like their spines were cracking and dying, like crazy shit, like something you'd see in a movie. But I knew when I was watching it that fucking happened to me, that happened to me in one of my lives. Even though that happened, I wasn't allowed to go and kill other children and kill other people just because they killed my family and you know what I mean? That's karma. That's how karma works. So Earth is a training school. And if you take the fear out of the equation, don't even use fear anymore. I've said this to you guys before. When you use fear-based words, you will bring fear into your orbit. And I may have told you this before, Jordan, but I always try to tell people when I'm doing readings for them one-on-one, if you use the word concern, it's natural to have a concern about something. If something happens really quickly, it's our natural instinct to react. It's our natural instinct to survive, you know what I mean? To protect, whatever. So that's okay. But fear is different. Fear is a man-made construct that was put into place to control us. And now that we're not allowing the control to happen anymore, the fear is actually turning back on them, because there's no way. If this will make you feel any better, Jordan, we're going to go further, but if this will make you feel any better, look at Harvey Weinstein and the Me Too movement. Look at what's happening to Sean P. Diddy, Sean Combs. Look what's happening to him, a media music mogul, a movie mogul who were raping, human trafficking, whatever. No. So these other leaders, I'm just going to leave it at that. Like I said, next year is going to be a tower year. But we have to let it go to rock bottom so that we can now, when they hit that rock bottom and that darkness crumbles, our light will shine so bright. And people will see it. You see it all the time where people, whether you were a Jehovah's Witness, whether you were, a believer and, whatever, whether you followed a cult, whatever. I mean, I have had in my life, I have met so many people who've been in cults. It's like, that's not an accident. I didn't grow up in an area where that was like a prevalent thing that I was aware of anyway. I grew up in the south side of Chicago. I'm sure there were cult-like whatever, but I mean, these were people who were in real bona fide cults, like bona fide. Like, I mean, my one friend, like 25 wives, like in Utah, like the whole thing. Like, I was like, holy shit. He's like, yeah, I have 65 brothers and sisters. I'm like, what? I'm like, what the fuck? He's like, yeah. He's like, these people have been like creating armies, like all that shit, the polygamy, all that, like it's all coming to a head. If you would allow yourself, if you could focus on this, not on anything else, like focus on you. You're like baby dragon right now. You're feeling like your baby dragon, but you're not. You're just in your baby dragon, but you're not. You're a badass mofo. You got this. You just haven't put all the pieces in place. So let's see. My ancestors were Puritans in Salem. That's probably why we're connected, Jordan. That's what I'm saying. I know, me too. Like, look at my hat even. I used to have such a different hat and it was beautiful. It was very similar colors, whatever. But anyway, and this hat, it's like, it has a burn hole on it. Like, it's a vintage Esprit from like the early 80s. And it's just like the one that it's like, because I don't need anything fancy. I'm more like Jesus, right? Like if you remember Indiana Jones in the Temple of Doom, right? Right. Or no, Indiana Jones in the Last Crusade, where he's with his dad. And at the end, if you remember, if you haven't seen it, I don't want to give it away, but for your homework, watch Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. It's so good because it's all about Christ. It's all about the like, who's going to, the Holy Grail. And at the end, the Knights of Templar are real and they're there and they're like, saying like, you've got seconds, you have seconds to choose. You're going to live or die. You have seconds to choose. You have to choose one of these cups. Which one are you going to choose? I'm not going to say anything in case you haven't seen the movie, but someday I have something similar to it and I usually show it, but you know what I mean? But like, it's like, he says, which cup would the, and the guy's like, oh, the King of Kings, right? Like the King of Kings. What's the cup that the King of Kings would drink out of? Well, Jesus didn't think of himself as a king. Jesus was a carpenter. He was a man. He was a person. And there is so much documentation in history that he studied with Buddha. I mean, it makes sense. It makes so much sense. So much of the teachings that are in the Christian community are so much of derivative of Buddhist, except for they twisted it, right? And it's just like anything else. They made Jesus a religion. So just remind yourself that you are here on a mission, Jordan. You have a purpose. You're about to emerge. You're about to show us who you really are. And I have a feeling once you let go of the fear, if you remember, I used to use, especially with Wicked right now, my favorite analogy is the Wizard of Oz, where, Glinda is like, ha ha ha, go away before a house falls on you too. Like, she's like, you have no power here. She's like, get out of here. She's got the slippers on. We're good. You need to go. Bye-bye. And even that's a twist because something came into my orbit when I was going to sleep last night, or maybe it was this morning, but whenever it was, but something came into my orbit where they were showing, they're like, was Elphaba really I've seen the musical Wicked, but I haven't seen the movie yet. I'm so excited to see the movie. And I think it's like, I know, talk about timing where it's going to give people that like, I'm going to defy gravity. Yes. It's like, we needed a Wizard of Oz right now. We needed something for all of us to believe in. We needed magic and miracles in front of us. We needed John Chu to show us that he fucking planted 9 million tulips to make it real. He's like, I wanted it real. I wanted it a real place. You know, because it is. Earth is what we make it. If we stay in the fear and the downtrodden and whatever, then we'll stay in the, yes, master, please don't whip me, please feed me. You know, if we stay in this like kept energy, instead of like putting ourselves out there, if we stay in that kept energy, then we cannot flourish. We cannot be creative. We cannot be what we came here to be. And fear is so fake. It's not real. It's not real. And you know what? I've said forever, if I'm going to die doing this, then let it be. So be it, right? Like as the witches say, so be it. Because this is, I'm not going to go down quietly. None of us are going to go down quietly. That's not what we came here for. We came here to fight, but with love and with light and power of love and light in our hearts. I miss my family. Right? Like I miss my friends, but what do I miss? Being called crazy, right, Jordan? Being called, you know, I was literally, my nickname in my family was Crazy Aunt Jenny. And I know my name's not Jenny, but it was a character from Brady Bunch that was like not revered, right? She was looked upon because she was weird. She was eccentric. You didn't want to, in the Brady Bunch era, right? Like you didn't want to be, that was after, you know, Vietnam, and there's like, no, you want to be rich, you want to be this, you want to have the best of everything. And you know, like I would have never shown up without makeup and my hair dirty, and you know what I mean, like I would have never been in my comfy, my cooking, and these are my clothes, you know what I mean, like I would have gotten ready and made sure I was perfect and like everything was coiffed and like, you know, yeah, because Kelly, who lived on the 11th floor of a high rise, or you know, overlooking Lake Michigan in Chicago with a doorman, was actually living, she couldn't afford to live that way. She was working 2 jobs to keep up that. And she didn't really want to live that way. It's because she believed that, you know, the guy she was with, they got this apartment together. And right before we moved in, he left me. And I had to like, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm going back to school. We just signed a year lease. I'm like, what just happened? You know what I mean? But I did it and I made it work. And I was single during that time. And all I did was focus on school. And I was like in my late 30s. I'm like, I'm going back to college. I wanted to be a fashion designer. And that's what I did. And I worked 2 jobs and I hustled my ass off. I worked hard. These channels, all this stuff, I'm working, I'm hustling. And I rest when I'm supposed to rest. And I keep going. You guys know. I mean, I'm very strong and sincere, but I'm also like, I don't know, you know, and I'm like the first one to like push you up and like, and I'll stand behind you and support you. I'll stand next to you and support you. I'll lift you up when I can. I'll stand in front of you and take that bullet when I can, but you have to do that too for yourself. You know, this was my giving back to you guys because it's Giving Back Tuesday. So I wanted to give back to you guys for being there for me too, because we are all in this together. When I saw you, Jordan, you had Christ consciousness around you that I've never seen before. All I can tell you is that, and why I said you feel so similar to me, is that when I was drawn to go to this one medium who had been doing it for 22 years, who was I don't know how many generations of doing it as a job, sometimes in secret, obviously. But she was an older woman and I was led to her. And when I met her, she was like, hey, and she was, you know, and I was such a skeptic. I was such a fucking skeptic. And she acted like she was my best friend. And I was like, and she goes, oh no, girl, we've met before. She's like, you just don't remember, but that's okay. She's like, come on in. And when I sat down, she was like, I have so much to tell you. And she said, I just want to tell you, I can count on one hand and a few digits how many times I've seen the Archangel Michael the way I see him with you right now. And she said, you have a mission. You are special. She's like, you're going to do something big here. She's like, I'm so excited for you. It was like so magical. And then she proceeded to tell me all these things that there's no fucking way she would have known. There's no way she would have known, you know? So that confirmed it for me, that I definitely was special. I definitely was different, but, I can only imagine that what she said to me is kind of how I felt when I saw you. So, you know, it's time to really step into your gifts and step into your purpose. The emergence is, you know, what I'm going to do for you, because they're telling me to do this, is I'm going to actually take screenshots of this and put it in the, when this is done and after it's uploaded, or maybe they'll have me do it before it's uploaded, but either way, I promise you, I will take pictures of the book, and I feel like you're meant to have them so that you can really work with this medicine by yourself. You know what I mean? Like, it's time for you to work with this. And I think you'll get it more, by looking at it. I will read you the quote. It says, "You're responsible for your life, your behavior, and your experiences, and more importantly, how you react to them." So I will put a picture of the card, and then it'll, in the community section, and there's tabs, on my channel, look in the community section. There's tons of pearls in there too. And then I will take screenshots of the book, and then you can work with that. Okay, so that's that one. And let's get to your second question. And thank you. Yes, do the homework. It's worth it. It's for you. It's for your peace of mind. You were brought here for a reason. You meant to, I'm not kidding you. Like, I had other plans today. I really had other plans today, but I was so drawn to do this. I can't even tell you. So this was definitely for you, Jordan, and anyone else who is here. You're more than welcome to ask questions. We have one more question for Jordan, and then if anyone else would like to ask a question, I don't think I'm meant to go more than 3 hours. Okay, I didn't even ask your question yet, but I kind of already did. So here's the card, but I'm going to reiterate the question so everybody can hear it. So if you're just coming on, Jordan asked how to have peace of mind in these times. And that was the emergence card, which will be in the community section. So that's for all of us. Jordan even said he was surprised nobody had asked that. So he's right. And then the second question is how to feel safe being psychic and not be afraid of haters. Oh, Luna. Oh, Luna is so gentle and so sweet. So she, obviously Luna means the moon. Are you somebody who, have you been more nocturnal lately, Jordan? Or are you struggling? Because I know I went through a period of time where I just wanted to be awake in the nighttime. I wanted to do spirit work in the nighttime, like almost anything. I just wanted to be awake. And I was born on a Monday, a moon day. Do you know what day you were born on, Jordan? I can look, but my phone's over there. The exact day. So February, if you don't know, you just look up February 20th, 1992. And it will tell you, say what, or what was the moon phase? Say moon phase and then the date. And when you bring it up, it'll tell you. Because you pulled Luna, we're gonna read. I feel like they want me to read from Luna. This one feels a little. This is for everybody. I'll put it in the community section too. But I feel like it's really meant for. This is very. Oh, I just got the chills. What did you say, Spirit? Hold on. Let me get my pendulum out. I was born on a Thursday. I've been up late at night a lot lately. So the moon's trying to connect with you. Do you know where your moon is in your chart? Like I'm a Sagittarius. My sun and my rising are Sagittarius, but my moon's in Scorpio. Do you know what your moon is? Also, Thursday is Thor's day and it's Jupiter day. It's a very lucky day. Like I bet your chart's really fascinating. Have you done your chart? If you haven't, there's cafeastrology.org. There's a lot of free ones out there, but I think Cafe Astrology is a really good one. Braca Goldsmith, she hasn't done anything currently, but she has it. Her channel's still up. She has links for hers too. They're free. And then you just put in Libra. So your moon's in Libra on the 2nd degree. I love that you know. So the fact that you know tells me what are you doing for work now? Because I'm kind of feeling like, we were talking about herbalism with the other question, but, and the moon's coming in. So I feel like there's something I feel like we're following breadcrumbs for you right now, I'm sorry. I'm like, I've got I call them my grandma sweats. They're like those sweats that I'm like Ed Grimley. I'm like, I'm just feeling so, when you just feel like there's too much fabric. Like I'm usually walking around in these clothes or laying down, not like doing this, but I'm feeling kind of not just frumpy, but like I can't explain it. But yeah, the fact that you're so connected to your astrology like that, it's like, also, I feel like I just heard something with Libra. I want you to look this up too. Research Libra and Jesus. I don't know why, but there's got to be some correlation there because they told me to do that. Okay, so Luna is number 18. Isn't that interesting? I said, that's right. I thought you were in your 20s. I thought you were like 22. So that makes sense that you were 25, but you just look really young. You probably still look young. You know, some people just age gracefully. Okay, so Luna. So here's the message from Luna. Okay. Embrace and accept what you really feel. Oh, and I know, Jordan, you have a very high empathy threshold. So, you know, don't fight your feelings. Just because people told you to fight them, don't. Be sweet. I don't care if you're standing in the grocery store and you see a baby that brings tears to your eyes. We need that right now. All of you guys, this is for all of us. Like, we need the empathy right now. I had something recently with my partner where they've, you know, they're in where they're supposed to be, and I'm not judging it. I'm happy for them, but they were in such a gruff mode, and I was called from spirit to say something to them, and I saw the egg crack, you know what I mean? I saw them and they started to tear up, and I'm like, it's okay to cry. It's okay, especially for men, male identified. Growing up, I mean, there's so much of this, be a man or don't cry or don't be a bitch, like whatever. And I would do that with Alder sometimes. I'm like, stop crying. I'm like, don't, I mean, I've said that to men. I've emasculated men. I'm not proud of it. That's what I'm saying. Like, I've gone through the things and the horrible things I've done and said when I was feeling insecure and bad about myself. So I treated other people like shit, you know? It's like that comes around. Karma is karma is karma. You know, our twin flames are people in our lives that our soulmates, when they're mirroring us, they're there for a reason. We need that. We need someone to stand up in our face, not say that, because that's what I was saying. Like, that's what I came from was, you know, Southside Chicago. Kelly came from, you know, don't be a bitch. Like, stop crying. I'll give you something to cry about, you know? So I held it in. And I was so sensitive. Or my dad was like, you love everybody. Stop being so sensitive, you know? I remember one of the first times I was attacked, physically, sexually attacked. And it was like, you know, well, maybe if you didn't dress like a slut, you know, like I deserved it. And I was like, no wonder why I'm so fucked up, right? Like, it's taken me years to heal. I'm not now. I'm still healing that, right? But all of us on the planet right now are all healing that inner child trauma. And the divine masculine isn't crumbling. It's just the patriarchal energy that derived from the divine masculine is crumbling, because we all have divine masculine and divine feminine in us. It's not like, you know what I mean? I mean, I have 70% masculine in my chart, and I'm a woman identified. So, you know, if we went by that stuff, drink some water, by the way. Drink some water. I mean, deer are beautiful, sensitive animals, but look at that. You don't want to get hit with that rack. He'll take you out. That's a divine masculine on there. But look at, he's wearing a beautiful, colorful flower. You know, what's wrong with that? Nothing. And that's what we're seeing. That's what we're recognizing now. So, you know, I was told I was queer. I was weird. Why are you so strange? Why are you, you know, but weird, not in a good way. But if you look at the root word of weird, it actually means magic. It means spectacular, something out of the ordinary. But it's been turned into something else. Gay, the word gay used to mean happy. And now it means, you know, you're gay. It's like people just change and evolve. Things change and evolve. It just keeps changing and evolving and changing and evolving. So, you know, like we spoke at the beginning, your manifestation, your magic is the words that you're putting into the world, the thoughts that you're putting into the world. You know, even if you're having the worst day ever, you can still say, I'm having a great day because I learned all these lessons today. And ever since Mercury's gone retrograde the last few days, I broke one of my favorite bowls. I've broken things. I shattered a bowl. I'm in a 35 by 10 foot space, right? So like my laptop's just across on my counter. This is it. You know, I'm not 10 feet long. I'm 5'2", but I mean, I can almost put my length of my body of my home. So, and I switched out to this small bed, you know, over here so I can be with Bubba. Took the couch out. So I'm like really right here. I shattered this bowl. I have no lights. The only thing I have are candles. I have a flashlight and on my phone, and I have a lantern that is about to go out on the batteries. I broke this bowl right here in the middle of the walkway where Bubba walks, where I walk. I had slippers on, thank goddess. But I was like, are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me right now? I had to vacuum it. I had to, you know, we have one extension cord from, you know, We watched, this is a property that we live on, you know, in our tiny home, but the guy bought it for an investment. He's going to tear down the house next year and rebuild and whatever. So we literally have like one extension cord. So I have to like only run the vacuum or only run this or whatever. But I was like, well, at least I got my flashlight on my phone. And after I cleaned it up, I was like, oh, well, it's really clean now, you know? But I could have been like, why? You know what I mean? Instead, I was like, fuck. And I was like, oh, I really like that bowl. Oh, well. Excuse me, no use crying over spilt milk. How I react to it is how I react to it. Now, a few days before when I'd had no sleep and I was covered in urine and throw up from my cat that was at death's door, you know what I mean? I hit rock bottom. I cried. I was like in a place, in the darkest, most horrible place I've been in so long. But that was my moon in Scorpio. That was like, you've got to get this shit out. And interestingly enough, where did I put him? Oh, I put him back over there. I have to show you guys something. Hold on. I'm going to get back to you, Jordan. Hold on, but I got to show you something. Okay. This is Sherwood. You guys, your mission, should you choose to accept it, if you don't have one already, is to get yourself a stuffy. Get yourself a stuffy. Sherwood came to me when I had hit rock bottom, and I was like literally just like basically waiting for Baba to die. I had hit rock bottom. I was so upset, and I saw him in the other room, and he was filthy. I mean, he hadn't like been cleaned in forever. And long story short, I didn't care because I was filthy, and I was like, I just needed a hug. I needed a hug more than I had needed a hug ever in my life. And I looked around and there he was. And I was like, oh, I'm like, Sherwood. I'm like, and I hugged him. And you know what? I went to the laundromat the next day and I washed him. And now it's like, I realized, well, my partner is working out his stuff while Baba's figuring out what's going on with her. I have myself a support because, you know, the first time I met Sherwood, I knew there was an entity living inside of him. I literally rescued him. There he is. I literally rescued him from the road. He was roadkill. It was stopping rain when I thought it was a dead animal on the road. That's why I went to it, or it was in trouble. I didn't know. And when I picked him up, he was so heavy. You can see how heavy he is now, but he's clean and healthy. He's got bean bags and stuff. But I ended up breaking up with I was at my boyfriend's house. And he thought I was an idiot for getting him. And I brought him home and I put him in I looked online and they said, if you put him in a pillowcase that they won't get ruined. And so I washed him and he became my support animal. I broke up with that boyfriend because he was really abusive. And I moved out of my apartment with my roommate who I loved, but we were both addicts and we weren't good for each other. We were both witches and addicts and we weren't good for each other. And I ended up moving into a little studio by myself. And it was me and Sherwood against the world. And I'll tell you something, the last few days, it's really helped because Bubba, even when she is feeling good, she doesn't want to be touched. You know, she's not feeling good. She doesn't want to be touched. She doesn't want to be held. I haven't had like real hugs. I've been off on my own. But then after I've been hugging him, I'm okay. And I'm not feeling fear because I feel like, you know, if you didn't do this when you were kids, I would suggest you do it now. I mean, all my stuffed animals and my dolls all had characters. They had names. They were spirit guides, and I didn't realize they were watching out for me. So that's what Sherwood is. And this happened. I've had Sherwood for 13 years. This last Thanksgiving was 13 years I've had him. I can't even believe that it's gone by already. But you see what I'm saying? It's like you guys, you're right behind me. You know what I mean? Like we're in some of you, we're all in different levels of the dark night of the soul on the planet. So depending on where your consciousness is, depending on where it lies, that's how you're going to respond and react to everything that happens in front of you or for you, not to you, for you. So I felt like Sherwood wanted to come in. So if I were you, Jordan, get yourself a good stuffy if you don't have one, you know, and I've been like talking to him because I know that it's just spirit and it's made me feel so much better. When I saw my partner the other day, I just wanted to hug him. I just wanted to like rip our clothes off and not even be sexual. I just wanted to lay with him naked because this is the longest we've been apart and we've been together for almost a decade and we've been separated living on our own for 5 months. And, you know, it's not that I can't live alone. I've done it many times. It's just I miss him. I miss the intimacy. I miss, but he's just not there. And every time I try to push him, I can feel he's pushing back. So right now, what we don't want to do is push the people that we do love and are there for us away because what they're going through. I judged him recently really harshly because I was like, where the fuck are you? I'm like, I'm here I'm like, do you even care that she's dying? I'm like, do you even, and he's just like, and then I have to remember, like, when I met him, like, he's a man's man, but he was also raised by a father who was jealous of him. He was jealous of his height. He was jealous of his member. He was jealous. He used to say things that were so inappropriate that, like, and he kept like, what do you know, you puff yourself up. He kept puffing him up, but in the same time, like, making him feel bad about it. It was like all this weird reverse psychology. He should be a man and all this. And if he looked like him when he was his age, and just like crazy shit. And it's just really fucked with his head. So we must, Jordan, whatever all of us, it doesn't matter what we identify with in our human, whatever. It's like whatever we're going through right now, it's just going to be a little more severe for what other people identify us as. Does that make sense? So it's going to be for you to decipher how to identify with who you are, not with anyone else, not your job, not your, like, who are you at your core? When you wake up in the morning, what makes you happy? As my mom used to say, what floats your boat? Like, what makes you want to take the boat out on the water? You know what I mean? Like, what makes you want to go on that adventure? I've been feeling this journey adventure too, because now that we're in the Sagittarius moon, Sagittarians, I'm a triple Sag, of course, but also Sagittarius is Jupiter, right? It's in that Jupiter energy. Astrologically, I know we're going through a lot of really cool, crazy stuff right now as well. And feel free to speak up. Pluto, Mars. There's just so many retrogrades and transitions. Mercury's in retrograde. There's just so many things happening, but they're happening for us to help transition and get everything aligned so that those dark forces will be pulled down. Those dark forces aren't going to be allowed to. It's like, sure, maybe you do have $60 billion fucking dollars, but just because you have $60 billion doesn't mean you can control my thoughts or my heart or what I'm doing here on this planet, And that's what they're doing, is the fear, that patriarchal energy. So for the men in general, and Jordan, when I met you, I remember it wasn't just that you were, I identified you as a man on the outside, but like I saw you as Jesus, which would have been a male identified. But at the same time, Jesus is love, which is a divine feminine energy. So the reason why things are happening the way they are is this battle it wasn't just the battle for the presidency for the United States. It was the battle of the divine feminine and the divine masculine that was happening. But we all know that's not what really, you know what I mean? Because even if it was true 100% that he won the election fair and square, he won because people are scared. He won because people are afraid of change. He won because maybe this man, was told, maybe he heard, maybe in his head, he wanted to vote, for Kamala, but didn't because, in his head, he heard, don't be a pussy. You vote Republican like your father. You know what I mean? Like, as aggressive as that is, there's shit going on in people's heads all the time. If you have all that stuff going on, you got the monkey mind. We've all, you know what I mean? Imagine. So right now, we're all connected, but we're so disconnected too because the monkey mind makes people fucking crazy. And the more you stay in social media or around people, or if you work in public or anything like that, one of our regular tribe members, I've known her since she was really young too. I remember she was working in a gas station and I was like, you cannot work there. I'm like, beyond the fact that the chemicals and all that shit's not good for your energy. I was like, but also I'm like, you're dealing with people coming and going and not so great energy all the time. That takes a toll on you. I'm like, are you cleansing your energy when you get home? Are you, you know what I mean? When I go out into public, I'm wearing my armor, I basically have badass bitch on a fucking neon sign above my head. People don't fuck with me. And if they do, like if they see me with my pendulum or something like that, I usually kind of correct them and set them straight. But I've been doing this now for so many years because I live my life authentically. Once you live your life authentically, nobody can tell you who you are or what you're doing. The only reason why that's happening and why you're feeling fear is because there's other people that are like, aren't you afraid? Aren't you scared? What's going to happen? Did you? And I've been telling you guys, I put it out there too. You've seen, I, after the election, I had my craziness, and I even put disclaimer on there. Like, this is me gone off the fucking deep end over here. Like, I was like, fuck it all. I'm done until I got it out. I sat with spirit. I worked it through, and I was like, you know what? I don't need to know. You don't need to know. We don't need to know what's going to happen. We just have to believe and have faith and hope unconditionally all the way around. Not, well, but look what's happening. You cannot judge, because right now, from the time this started 2 hours and 20 minutes ago, how many things have happened on the planet? How many things? So many things that we couldn't even, you know what I mean? In a second, our lives can change, in a fraction of a second. So what did you say? My Reiki healer had a message saying that I should be around animals to help heal. Good advice. What you are saying makes sense to me. Okay, good. Yes. Perfect example. So you're Reiki healer. So I don't know what you're doing for work, or if you are, whatever, but whether it's for a job or volunteering, start working with animals. Do not work at a kill shelter or like your local, whatever. Like, some people can handle that and some people can't. You, my love, are so pure and powerful. I think that would be a really hard place for you. You know, I know that whenever I'd rescue animals, sometimes, especially when I ran a rescue when I was in my 20s, I would go to the kill shelters to see, like, is there anybody that is about to, because they can smell it. They know. It's like being at the gas chambers. I mean, they know. So it's like, I always tell people, please go there first. Because the no kill shelters, they're not going to, they'll keep them, or somebody else will take them. But the kill shelters, they're not fucking around. Like, they'll kill them. They don't, they're just like, it's the county, the city, whatever. So if you're going to volunteer to clean stalls at a horse, whatever, or go somewhere, whatever your favorite animal is, volunteer there. Volunteer if you like koala bears, work with the zoo. And I hate zoos, I really do, but until whatever, but like, maybe you're meant to be a ray of light to go there, and you work your way up to helping, clean koala pins. I don't know, it depends. You know what I mean? It's like something like that. But what I'm saying is that there's multiple purposes, for all of these things that I mean, clearly, let's put it this way. Almost every empath I've ever known says, I love working with animals, but I've done that too. And I have gotten jobs working on farms and things like that. You guys know, you watched me for years, but you have to be mindful of like what kind of job it is. There's hardly any jobs out there to just go and play with animals and get paid. But there are a lot of places where you can go and volunteer and play with animals. Some shelters would be like, sign up to take dogs for a walk. Be like, this is what I'd really like to do. What can I do to help? Sometimes they do start you in the kennels, but if you say to them, I'm a sensitive, I can't handle smells, but I would love to like help take your dogs for walks, or can I play with the kittens in the kitten room, something like that. They do want that. They do need the interaction. So, you may want to think about that. But also in terms of jobs, there are ranch hand jobs. There are so many websites all over. And I know of one, if you're interested, write me a message and I'll be sure to get it to you, or you can email me too, and I'll send it to you. But there are a lot of places that you can do a work trade situation, and you wouldn't believe how much honor you would feel in scooping up shit. If you really love horses, you know what I mean? Like, if you really love horses, you're like, no, you want them to have a clean stall. You're like, it's not that big of a deal. You put a little something under your nose, or you put on a little mask or something, and you do it. But it makes you feel good that you're helping these animals in any way that you can. And a lot of these places, once you start there, a lot of times they do that, not just because you're starting at the bottom. They do it about commitment. Because if you're going to show up to scoop shit, you're probably going to stick around to help with the animals when it's your time. Everybody takes their turn scooping shit. It's like everybody's got to start at the bottom and work their way up. So you may want to look into that. But there are literally so many organizations, and there are so many websites that you can go on. I think it's like ranchhand.org or something, and they have things, tons of jobs for hire, especially if you're willing to relocate, and you're like, oh, I always wanted to live in Montana. And so you go and live on a farm, but then you just want to make sure that you vet it too, like if they're like super hardcore Christians or something, like it needs to be somewhere where you can be yourself. But you'd be surprised how many spiritual farms and stuff are out there, or that they don't care that you're like that, you know what I mean? Or not like that, but or what you believe in. So there's multiple facets there. Okay, so here is your card. And then I think we're done. Unless anybody else has another question, I'm going to wrap it up here because we're at almost 2.5 hours. Okay, so this is the answer to how to feel safe being psychic and not be afraid of haters. Luna says, embrace and accept what you really feel. As her name suggests, Luna is connected to our moon and her phases. She is a mother figure, and due to her watery nature, she connects to emotions, creativity, and of course, water. Her arrival is a prompt to fully feel your emotions, particularly if you have been avoiding their messages. See, she urges you to examine them, own them, and release what you no longer need. She says, if you have been feeling overwhelmed, it is fine to ask for help. This is not a weakness, but an acknowledgement that you have been strong for too long on your own. A little self-care wouldn't go amiss either. You can fully be who you want to be once you embrace and accept what you really feel. Only then can you truly transform. She urges us to follow our creativity. So work with creativity, you guys. Work with creativity. Do what makes your heart set a sail, or in this fiery energy, what sets your heart afire? What creative outlet do you love to cake? Do you love to cake? Do you love to bake? Do you love to cook? I was trying to say them at the same time. Do you love to draw? Do you love to paint? Do you love to sing? Do you love to dance? What creative outlet? What do you love to sew? You just something that you can make from scratch. I don't care if you go out and you want to work through your inner child trauma with Play-Doh. Go buy yourself some Play-Doh and play. Oh, it might be toxic, but try and find non-toxic. You know what I'm talking about? But find things, Legos. I saw something. Kelly Clarkson had somebody on her show recently, and they were talking about their love of Legos. It was the cast of Wicked, because one of the guys, they went to this, they did a whole thing of the Wicked characters in Legos, and it was like a really cool thing. And it's like, and it doesn't, you don't have to keep it either. It could be something, it's like you cook or bake and then you eat it, right? Like, so you're kind of destroying it. Some people, that's why I think a lot of people take pictures of things. Because like, look what I made, or look what I baked, or look what I cooked, So she urges us to follow our creativity and revisit latent talents. If you don't know what that means, latent talents means like something that's been lying dormant. Something. What did you love to do like when you were a child? Again, finger painting. Oh my gosh, you guys. Sorry. There's a ladybug. It's December. It's December 3rd. There's a ladybug crawling on my window right now. So the ladybug is our spirit animal, and the elephant. Oh my gosh. And let me tell you, confronting those emotions and feelings, that's why I'm saying get yourself something that's going to make you feel better. Something. Baba has been fighting this for a long time. And I was like, am I the one making her sick? She was like the chicken and the egg. I'm like, is she getting sicker? And I'm like, feeding into it, because I was like, you're fine, Baba, you're fine. But then she wasn't fine. And then I was like, oh my gosh, she's dying, and then it was like, we both had to hit the rock bottom with it. I had to cry so hard. Like I had to lose her. I had to lose her in my mind. I had to let her go, so that she can really decide, is she going to stay longer? Is she, I've always said, you're going to die an old lady in your bed. And then I was researching it more, and they're like, that's like very rare for animals to die, like unless you're a wild animal, like to, you go off somewhere and you die or whatever, or you give yourself to another animal. That's how you die, whatever, circle of life. But this was different. And I used my healing tool. I used my friend, my healing creature, to help me work through that. It was my little girl. And then I remembered losing my first dog, and you know what I mean? And it was just, I've lost, or so many animals that have been in my care have passed away. I've put down hardly any of them. No, none of them died in their sleep. Actually, none of them died in their sleep. All of them were put down or killed, hit by a car. My dog was shot because of where my first dog was my best friend. And my dad was just like very matter of fact, was like, I'm sorry. He went to work with Baron and he came home without him. And I was like, where's my dog? And he's like, oh, he was accidentally killed. And I'm like, what? I'm like, what are you talking about? Because a hunter thought that our German Shepherd was a deer. Crazy shit fucking happened. But that was like my first real like thing at death. And I was like 6 or 7. I was devastated. I was devastated, especially because his mother, Lady, was our first dog, but like Lady was there. Like that's all I remember is her being there. But then she had a litter, and my dad's friend his shepherd sired her, and like they were we used to breed them, or it was like a trial run or whatever. But long story short, Lady ended up going with them. And so Baron was her baby. And so we kept Baron. And so as a puppy, like I watched Baron, from a puppy, and he was basically a puppy. I don't think he was quite 2. So we moved from our house and where he was born. And then we moved to a new house. And then my dad brought him to work. And it was like he was just gone. He left for work that day and he was just gone. And when I was hugging Sherwood, I was thinking about Baron. And then I was like, oh my gosh, it's like Baba, there she is being my great teacher again. And if you don't have an animal, and you can have one, Jordan, you may want to think about that, because familiars are really powerful and they really help us through trauma and healing all of that stuff. And I know that you've dealt with a lot of stuff with your family. So, maybe this is the time that you need to work through it, So the last bit from Luna is, she urges us to follow our creativity and to revisit latent talents. Whether they are musical, written, in the field of performing, and so on, she tells me, these activities are good for the soul. You can lose yourself in the moment, become engrossed in a piece of work, and embrace the bliss that accompanies such activities. That's when we find our true self, and our true identity is through our art and our heart. And our love for our heart and art, right? Heart and art. So anyway, and playing and being playful. I'm in my 50s. I'm still playful. It's like I still talk to him. I'm like, hi, Sherwood. He's my best friend. I love him. You know what I mean? And when I was a kid, one of my first stuffed animals was an elephant. And I had a lot of elephants. I still, Princess Pink Penny, I have a pink elephant. But elephants, and elephants are so wise and they're such great caregivers. But whatever animal that you're drawn to, that's the one that you're meant to have. Like that's the one you're meant to be with and have in your orbit. So, whether you get an animal that you can, that will help through the lonely times, or, get yourself a stuffed animal. And if you have one, take care of them more. So let's see, do we have any more messages? Do we have anything else? Any more messages? Did anybody else have any more questions? So far, I haven't seen any more questions. Let me look and make sure that there's none in between, because I don't have my glass. Oh, Jessica! Hi, Jessica! Oh my gosh! She's just here to listen. Hi, Jess! Oh my gosh! Well, if you guys have any questions whatsoever, if there was anything that has or hasn't been, look at this, Gaia! Gaia! Look at that! So this is, I feel like if no one has any questions, I feel like this is our like kind of culmination message. And these are for our peeps. That's right, for our people. And Gaia's 31, which is also the number 13 backwards, mirror. And Jessica and I just had a session together recently. We were talking about that and the mirroring things. Yeah, like it's just so intense, there's so much going on, and everybody is just handling things differently. So, here's the deal. Once you solidify and face your divinity, Jordan, and this is all of us, and get more in nature and get connected with Gaia. That's what the dragons are telling us, to get connected. And what is 31? The number 4. What is 4? Balance. It's balance, baby. It's about having 4 strong, a sturdy foundation. And I feel like for some of you, the healing will really begin when you get to, your house has to fucking crumble all the way to the ground before you can build it over. And you have to clear all that old shit away before you can build a brand new foundation. If you guys haven't listened to, I just put up the Sagittarius moon reading. It's kind of long. There's a lot going in. There was an update about, Bubba and Alder and all that too, if you're interested. But the beginning of it was mostly, we had some we had transmission from Galactica and from basically just everybody was there. Like I felt so much. But anyway, we spoke about a lot of these things as well. So I feel like there may be some puzzle pieces in there that will tie into this for you guys. But Gaia says, have courage to stand up for what you believe in and your heart to be true. The dragon Gaia is the earth keeper and carries Gaia's ancient knowledge deep within her. She is one of the oldest dragons yet to come to earth. And this is what she says. I am the etheric body of your planet. I urge you to protect her and all who dwell upon her. I will guide you into restoring balance. Look at that. We just talked about balance. That's awesome. What is done cannot be undone. And alas, some things are gone forever. Have courage to stand up for what you believe in, your heart to be true. And I will stand with you. You can be that change. And she's saying you can be the change that the planet needs right now. Because if you're living in fear, that means, if you think about it, you're only in fear because are you worried about dying? Are you worried about somebody else dying? Because we only have fear when we're afraid of losing something, or we're afraid of changing something, or we're afraid of letting go of something. Do you hear me? Do you feel me? So that's what she's saying. And we said this earlier. Hearn came through. She was like, get back to earth. Earthing. I walk, even now it's wintertime and I'm walking around barefoot. I'm like, I got multiple layers on, but I'm like, I'm going to keep, because I know the difference. That's what saved Baba's life. That's what saved her life. She stopped going outside. She fell into a depression. I've been watching her going through this, like where her joints were hurting, she's, 14 plus. And she was just angry. And I could see that she was angry. And I was like, get it out. I'm like, what do you need to let go of? What do you need to say goodbye to? I'm like, let it out, because you need to let go of it so that you can move forward. And she stopped going outside. She was terrified to go outside. I've never seen her like that. Well, actually, no, that's not true. The last time I saw her that terrified was when she wasn't going outside. I rescued her from off the street, but then she was in my apartment. I lived in apartments. There was nowhere for her to go outside. It wasn't until I lived in a place where I can go indoor, outdoor. One time I came home and she was gone and I freaked out. I was like, where did she go? I'm like, what happened? And my window was open. I lived in Portland and I didn't have a screen, but we didn't need them really. We didn't have a lot of bugs there. And long story short, Baba jumped out the window. She wanted to be outside so bad because there was all these trees and stuff. It's, I guess, just after months. I lived there for months, window open. I'd go to work. I was like, she's not going to jump this high. She's not that courageous, whatever. Oh, well, she did. And I finally got her. I got her back in. Then I was like, holy shit, I'm not going to be able to let her do that anymore. But then when we could be indoor, outdoor, when she could. So now for the last 8 years, Baba is outside every day. So as her arthritis was coming in, as her aging, it was all of a sudden she just kind of gave up. She was puking. She wasn't keeping food down. I'm like, what is happening? So finally the other day I was like, that's it. She wouldn't let me pick her up to bring her outside. Or if I did put her outside, she'd be there for 2 minutes and run back in. So finally it was Thanksgiving. We had to come to Jesus. And I was like, thank you, Jesus. And I was like, I'm like, this is it. I'm like, I'm not doing this with you anymore. I'm like, I'm putting you down. I'm like, this is not a life for either of us. And all of a sudden her higher self came through really strong and said, feed her outside. I'm like, what? They're like, feed her outside. She's very food driven. And I'm like, oh my God, I didn't even think about that. But I wasn't meant to think about that. And then I watched her from Thanksgiving until even yesterday. I said to Alder, I'm like, feed her outside, because he hadn't seen her. When he saw her, she was at death's door. I even said, I'm like, do you want me to let you know if she died? And he's like, yeah. Because it was that's how bad she was. It wasn't an exaggeration. And I put her food outside. Holy shit. It was like she connected to the earth. She connected to Gaia, and she just fucking came back to life. She literally came back to life. It was inspiring. Then each day, for the rest, that's it. So now that's all I've been doing. Is today I haven't put her outside yet. I could tell she's antsy. After this I will. But since she's been going back outside 2, sometimes 3 times a day, she's been going to the bathroom outside again. She's using the pee pads, but she's not incontinent. I mean, before it was I did a cute little video for my other channel because I'm like, she used the litter box, and she hasn't used the litter box in so long I couldn't even tell you. And I was like, oh my gosh, So earth does wonders. Earth is healing. That is what that's what they're saying. That's what Gaia, that's what she's saying, is like, let the earth heal you. Okay. So I'm going to reread that line. And it says, she says, I am the etheric body of your planet. I urge you to protect her and all who dwell upon her. See, this is where the warrior status is coming out too. Like, you know, don't forget your divinity. You're a warrior. The fear is, yay. Jessica's like, yay, Baba, yay. Wait, what'd you say? You're interested in that? Oh, my email address is on this channel. It's magicalmedium@gmail.com. But go to the, you know, when you see this section, it's got like, you know, I guess the about section. It's at the top when you click it where it says welcome, witches, healers, and deep down believers. If you click that, there's messages there. It's got all my donation stuff. It's got all of my other channels, and it has my email address. And let me know if you guys want any more one-on-one sessions or anything. I think I have a feeling they're going to have me start doing this again. But like I said, it's only going to be for those who've subscribed, because I'm not just going to let willy-nilly. I've done this before, and I don't think it's really fair, you know, to those people who've actually been here and doing the work, you know, for someone just to come on and not give a shit and be like, oh, cool, I'm going to get a free reading and whatever. It's like, no, you guys have been here and been supporting, you know, this channel and this work on this channel for a really long time. So this was my giving back to you today. This was the Give Back Tuesday. But yeah, so sorry, I'm getting sidetracked because I'm like, yay. Okay, cool, Jordan. And I think you were saying, yeah, so I if you're talking about the ranch hand and stuff like that, yes. So just email me and let me know what else I can do to help you. Okay. So I'm going to finish this card. Okay. So, and we're restoring balance right now as warriors, light warriors. We're restoring the balance. That's our job. We're restoring the balance. And it says, Gaia says, what is done cannot be undone. And alas, some things are gone forever. So if there's something, you know, that you're holding on to, that's what you need to work through. You know, my mom dying this year, like all these things that I'm like, I mean, there was a moment where I was crying to my partner and I was like, I feel so abandoned. I'm like, first Baba got sick. Then I found out my mom was sick. Then Alder and I separated. Then my mom died. Then Alder was like, yeah, I'm going to come back. And then like a month ago or a few weeks ago, now he changed his mind again. He doesn't want to come back. Like he's still trying to figure things out. Then Baba started to die. You know what I mean? And it's like that spirit saying like, because I've had this, even as dysfunctional and fucked up as it could be, this little family that I've created between Alder and Bubba and myself is literally like, it like exploded in my face. And I have abandonment issues because of the way that my family was. Look at my dog, my puppy. Nobody explained to me why that happened. They just said he died. We mourned him. But as a little girl, I was like, and then I said, well, can we get another animal? My dad's like, no, I can't. Everybody decided, there was a family vote that it was too heartbreaking and nobody wanted animals. So, and my mom was allergic to cats. So that was it. There were no more animals in my house. Even though growing up, I had always been around animals. So it was a very kind of shock to the system because I used to sing to my animals and talk to my animals and my stuffed animals. And because even as a child, I felt so different from my family and so separate from everybody. I didn't know how to be. I didn't know what to do, you know? And so now I'm realizing like, that's like, okay, that's that. Then my parents got divorced and I felt like my father abandoned me. Then my mom started dating and my sister had a boyfriend. And then I was just I went from my whole household, you know, of a family unit of 5 people to me alone in an apartment. And I was 12 years old, abandoned. But I'm working through it. You know, it's like, I hope Alder and I come back around, but if we don't, I have to be okay with that. Now I mourn Bubba. Bubba died. I saw her die. I watched her crumble before me. And now I'm watching her come back to life in front of me too. So either she's going to come back to life and this is like a remission of some kind and she's going to bounce back, or she was trying to show me like, I'm really at death's door. You need to get prepared. So, you know, there were days where I'm like, she wanted to sit on my lap and I'm holding her and I'm like, that's why I'm like ugly crying where I'm like, I'm sorry. And then she's crawling off of me because she's like, bitch, I'm coming here for comfort. I'm coming here for healing. Like, dude, stop, you know, but of course that's part of it, right? But I'm crying because I'm just like, I know that my days with her at that moment, I was like, my days are numbered. And so then she's not even dead, and I'm mourning her. But I needed to mourn the loss of her because one day she will be. It just wants me to be prepared. In February, it'll be 13 years that she's been with me, and we're so witchy. And the number 13. So, she's either going to have some resurgence and be like some freaky cat that lives to be another 10 or 15 years, or it would make sense. She's very dragon-esque. I thought about it because it comes around every 13 years. And I'm like, wasn't that funny? She probably I forgot to look at that, but I bet she came to me the year of the dragon, So we mourn it and we say, thank you. With grace and gratitude, as much as we can muster, we say thank you. Mourn your fear, Jordan. Say goodbye to fear, because that's fucking gone. It's not real. Same with me. I was like, it's the 3rd. Not only is my rent late, but I have no idea where my rent's going to come from. Alder has been like going down this, he needs to. That's what he's a shaman too. We're just hitting it at the same point. It got so, crazy where I was giving him shit to sell yesterday because I want to make sure he has gas. And he's like, I just used my last money to feed Baba. And I was like, it's gotta be okay. I'm like, it is okay. I'm like, it is okay. It's not going to be okay. I'm like, it is okay. And I was doing my best to be a cheerleader to kind of pump him up. And I was just like, you know what? It's fine. And I reached out to our landlord and he was like, don't worry about it. He's like, it's fine. Give it to me when you got it. He knows we're good for it. And blessed be that, in the whole 8 months that we've been here, it's like, I usually call him and say, hey, even if the rent's here on the 29th or the 30th, I'll be like, hey, I have rent if you're in, because he lives an hour away, but he comes around here sometimes. So sometimes I'm just like, hey, if you're in the neighborhood, brother, I send him a text. I'm like, we have the rent. So he knows that he knows we take really good care of the property and that, but I had to say to him, I'm so sorry, that this is happening, especially because our rent is so low. But I was like, we are both, and I told him what was going on with Baba and everything. And I said, I've barely worked. Alder's barely worked. It's been a really rough month for us. And he was so cool. Because it's community and it's wintertime. He's not going to throw us on the street. You know what I mean? Not only that, he was really, he's has said before, Alder's a mechanic. He's like, Alder can come do some work for me. I'm not concerned about you guys. Don't worry about it. Because he has a lot of properties, where people rent, but they pay a lot of money. So we live off grid and we're basically babysitting this beautiful property in this beautiful town because it's a really nice area. So we give him peace of mind. So, it's but we built that up. We built that structure with him. We built that faith and that respect and that honest reliability that he knows that no matter what, because I even said to him, I go, dude, I will call everybody I know and I will borrow money. I'm like, I will do it right now. I'm like, I'll do what I can. I even said to Alder, I'm like, be prepared to reach out, to some people if we need to. And he was like, no, don't worry about it, but it's hard for me to do that. It's really hard for me to ask for help. It's hard for me, I should say it has been hard for me. And now I am learning that, I live in a prosperity consciousness because the truth is every time I need something, it shows up. And if it doesn't, there's a lesson there to be learned. And that's the hardest part, is learning the lesson and being like, okay, what am I going to take away from this? So it is what it is. And I love you guys so much. So I think we read the whole thing. But I feel like, no. We have one more paragraph. Okay, you guys ready for this? Okay, so call upon her support when you're working on a new project and need to anchor its energy fully. You can invoke her wisdom when any form of group work is taking place to anchor the collective vibration to the planet. Okay, so use Luna for that. Make use of her grounding, or Gaia, her too. Make use of her grounding energy. Gaia is also here now to help ground the frequencies of the 5th dimension and above, which are coming into our consciousness that's why you're struggling so much. That's why everybody's struggling, because the old world is gone, but we can still see it. It's still tangible because of like the fakery and the fuckery that we're seeing in front of us, the AI, the greed, the rape, the torture, all that, because we can see it, we can feel it. And, you know, people are like, why are we not collectively like not stopping these people? And I'm like, because nobody's stopping them, because they're like, everybody's got this fear, but you know what's going to happen? 2025 is going to spin and people are going to be like, fuck this. And the warrior, the inner warrior, that's the thing, is there's secret warriors hidden all over the planet right now. Shit, just have faith. Just have faith. If you've ever had faith before, have faith now. I know I do. I know I do. Because when I broke it down to the barest thread of the minimum and I said, hey, you know what? I need to use these few dollars to feed my fucking animal that's at death's door. You know what I mean? It's like when I had to be vulnerable and put myself out there, that's when I was like, okay, I can breathe. But even before I spoke to him about it, I felt okay. Like I felt like it was going to be okay. Like I didn't feel like he was going to like charge in here and be like, you know, you guys got to get out. You know what I mean? But we were in that for 2 years. And you guys know, if you've been following, you know, we were in that with our last landlord, how he, you know, puppet master and the, oh my gosh, like all that ego and control and narcissism and everything that we were stuck in his like labyrinth of like craziness, and not craziness, but his greed and his grief and his depression and all that. And boy, I learned so much from that experience. So, you know, not every experience we have is going to be a positive one. It has to be sometimes a not so positive one so that we learn and grow and expand from it. So she says, Gaia will guide us when we are ready to reignite the light of the Earth's grids. I mean, what are the odds that we pulled this as our last card? The deep healing this invokes will help Gaia and us as humans to build peace on Earth and a future that is sustainable. And that, my friends, I believe is the end of that. I don't know if they're going to have me. Let me see if there's any more. Oh my gosh, look at that. I said that and then I pull another one. So did someone ask a question or was someone thinking something? Sorry, the lighting is kind of weird in here. Let me see if I can get. Can you guys see platinum? That's platinum. But do you see that? It's the chakras. Now, this is another one. I'm not going to read the book. So you guys just look in the community section. I don't know when I'm going to do it because after this, I got to take care of Baba and I've got to eat and all that stuff. But keep your eye on the community section because this, I mean, clearly this is about getting our chakras aligned and balanced. If you're working with a Reiki healer, I would almost bet, Jordan, that you're a natural Reiki. You could probably do it yourself. I'm not saying you shouldn't pay this person or that you're not getting something from them. If you are, that's wonderful. That's beautiful. But I'm just saying, like, you know, I'm feeling like all of us are kind of struggling with our alignment. You know what I mean? With our chakras being aligned. So work on getting, you know, the meditations, just the everyday, you know what? One of my shamans used to say the basics: get up, take a poop, have breakfast. You know what I mean? Like, just do your day. Just do your day. Just do your day. But do it consciously. Do it with spirit in mind. And when I say methodically, in a light, and methodically can be in a loving, light way too, right? We are approaching life methodically, like we are doing it with an actual purpose, right? Breathing. I've been doing breathing exercises. The motivational doc is like one of my favorites. I put some links for some things for you guys in that Sagittarius moon reading. Go and look in the description box. There's some great little pearls in there, some great YouTube channels, but then also Spirit had brought to my consciousness about Jesus, speaking of, about Christmas. And how Christmas was Christ Mas, like Christ is love and Mas means more in the love languages. So it's like love more. And I just keep getting this like love more, just keep loving more. That doesn't mean you keep giving yourself to people who are taking from you. Not that. I'm saying like you just love generally. Don't expect anything from anybody. Don't, you know what I mean? Don't take anything personally. Yeah, you can do Reiki naturally. So I'm not saying you shouldn't go to a Reiki healer. I just know that like I've been to Reiki healers and they're amazing and it's cool to have that. But since you are a healer, balance your chakras in the morning, at night. When you wake up in the morning, especially if you're not on an alarm clock, if you wake up naturally, then wake up and before you get out of bed, do breathing. I've been doing the breathe in 4, hold 4, release 6. That's been really good. That really helps recalibrate your system. So you just breathe in 4, however you want to, it's different because I mean, you can even do dragon breaths, but the whole point of that one is like, it's like bringing calm. You could do through your mouth, your nose, whatever feels good. But like doing these things in the morning and like really being consciously like connected to it will really help you. And then, because the only way that you're feeling fear is that you're not doing your spiritual practices. Because if you were connecting to spirit and you were meditating, even if you look out and the world is bombing, like you something in you will tell you like help is on the way. Like I've been talking about how the sky looks different. This has been coming into my orbit from so many different people that I've never even met before on YouTube. And I'm like, I've been seeing it too. You guys haven't noticed the sky is very different. So I thought it was just because I moved up here and I hadn't seen this time of year, you know what I mean? But there's a line of 3 stars. Look tonight, if it's clear, there are little sections where I'm like, what is that? Like, I've never seen that in the sky before. Like, I've never seen that, there's definitely like, we are protected. We are divinely protected, but certain things on earth have to fall, you know what I mean? It's like, it's school, it's our earth school. So it has to go the way that it was meant so that we can all have the experiences and learn and grow from it. I balance and clear my chakras with Reiki. I send Reiki. I Reiki myself. Baba wouldn't let me. I thought she wants to die. She wouldn't even let me heal her. But then finally, when she got to a point, she let me heal her. So I believe she's like that because we've been Reikiing her. She's been going back outside. You know what I mean? Connecting to Gaia. If you're connected to these, phones and all that, like that's the shit that's going to really fuck with your energy. It's going to mess with your energy field. I met a shaman recently. He has a phone, like just a phone. It has no computer on it. It's just a phone. And he's got like many businesses and everything. And he's like, he doesn't go online. He doesn't like, he said, he does watch stuff sometimes, but like rarely. Cause I was like, well, you can find me, online as Magical Medium. And he's like, well, I don't really like to, cause he doesn't even want the energy that comes off of you know what I mean, of these. So that's why I brought this out today. The big Mamba Jamba, this huge black tourmaline. It helps with the, electromagnetic smog and all that crap that like is coming, that's emanating from there. That's why Spirit's been saying about my eyes. They're like, no, your eyes are fine. They're like, it's just that you're looking at computer screens all the time. And that shit really, fucks you up. Hold on. I just noticed my candle was in a weird place. So it's about connecting to our consciousness. So I think that's it. Let me see if there's anything. So I feel like that, and then I'll put the description for Platinum from the book there. One more shout out to happy birthday to Anna. Oh my gosh. Oh, that is Luna. I was gonna say, I'm like, is there another one? Oh, Lord Cthulhu. Oh my gosh. It's almost like we can't go. Let me ask Spirit if this might even be for a pick-a reading, because I was kind of feeling like maybe we would do a pick-a reading and go a little more in depth on these, but I feel like we went pretty in depth today. Does Lord Cthulhu, do we want to read from Lord Cthulhu from the book for them right now? Because this is about me giving back to you, because I'm happy to keep giving on Giving Tuesday. It's a what'd you say? Do we want to read from the book before we go? Okay, so we do want to read from the book. I was feeling this energy like it was over. So it's Lord Cthulhu. And if you remember at the beginning when we did Magic and Manifestation, she said it was the only card that had 2 dragons on it. But now we have Gaia was on there, and then which is the Divine Feminine. And I feel like Lord Cthulhu is like the representation of the Divine Masculine. So, and look at their hands. Look at that. We were just talking about Reiki, and you guys know wherever 2 or more gather. So all of us are so powerful. There's at least 4 of us here right now that I can see. I mean, I can't tell who's here except for that you and Jessica told me you're here, but there's one other person here. Like I said, I was like, I really thought Anna would come on for her birthday, but she might be here and maybe not want to talk. And if it is, we love you, Anna. Happy birthday. And if it's not, whoever you are, we love you anyway. But do you see Lord Cthulhu's hands? I don't know if you told me or not what your job is, Jordan. You don't have to share if you don't want to, but I'm like, I kind of feel like, at least for some of us here, I feel like that's what they're trying to show us. Like, that's your gift. If some of you are like, I don't know what to do, or I don't know what my purpose is, I feel like your purpose is Reiki, is to be a Reiki healer. Oh, Jessica says, happy birthday, Anna. yeah, that's kind of wild. And a lot of you know, when I was attuned with Reiki, that's when I started to realize like covens and like why I didn't want to be a part of a coven. And, because I just felt so drained. I was like, people are draining my energy. But when I was being attuned, they basically let me go through the whole thing. And I didn't really I didn't pay for it anyway. They like wanted me there. They told me paying for it was me being there, but they wanted me, and I ended up meeting a lot of people and it was all meant to be and all that good stuff. But sorry, I'm getting tired. I'm getting sidetracked. But basically what I was going to say is that she said before I was even attuned, the reason why they had me be there was because she said, are your hands always that hot? Before I was attuned. And I said, well, I run hot, but yeah, they do get really hot sometimes. And she's like, yeah, you're a natural Reiki. So Jordan says, I'm trying to figure out what to do for work, actually. Okay. So, well, maybe that's what this journey was. Maybe this episode was to help you on this journey, because like I said, this was to help us all. The dragons came in to help us, figure things out. So if you're a Reiki, Jordan, it could be that is your purpose. And especially like if you did a channel like this, can you imagine? Because I've been in your presence, Jordan, and I don't care if I haven't seen you and whatever, like that doesn't go away. You have such a Jesus-like energy. I can only imagine. Maybe you're meant to be a YouTuber, dude. And like I put her on my last one, but there's this person named, her handle is @Dodash, and she's been working at it at YouTube for years, kind of like me. And then like she finally just put a video out where she would just like had it. She's like, I'm enough. She's like, I can't take it anymore. And her video went viral. And now she's got like 60 something subscribers in just a few months. She's making like $9,000 a month. You know what I mean? Like we can all attain that. I believe that's my purpose. I believe I'm going that way too. I believe I'm the next few years, money. That's what I'm saying. I feel like because I'm tethered to Alder, and I could say, oh, it's Alder, but because he's going through whatever. But no, I just went through a shit show and through Scorpio season. Jessica knows, like, I'm actually shocked we even got to do spirit work that day. Jessica, like, I mean, I was just it's been a tough, my moon's in Scorpio. It's been tough with the election. Everybody is feeling it, we're all having this kind of like hangover from the energy. But I know that my time is coming, whatever it is, like I can feel it. So it's the same for you guys, maybe it's something like that, Jordan, where like, use your Reiki to heal people. You have such a significant presence. And the fact that you're 32, I don't like to compare, but at the same time, I mean, it is kind of interesting that Jesus was 32 if it's true in history, I'm really like losing my thing here. So very interesting. Okay, so Lord Cthulhu, you are the change. When Lord Cthulhu first arrived, he lost no time informing me who he was. I am a dragon elder and spokesdragon for the Galactic Council, he went on to say. If you desire to be able to hold the energies of the 5th to the 7th dimensions, you need to be clear of all your earthly woes and fears and your deep need for control. Your light bodies need to be in alignment with those of the earth and the astrological light matrix. Only then will you become a tool and a tuning device to lift the energy of the planet. As more of you gather together to do this work, wherever two or more gather, the greater will be your chance of bringing lasting peace to Earth. Lord Cthulhu went on to explain why the dragons are here collectively at this time. We have come because lasting peace is achievable on Earth. There are other galaxies beyond your human understanding at this time where it has happened. We dragons are as old as the universe itself and have encountered and witnessed humanity in all its guises through the ages and know that you are the change. So that's why we had to read the book, See, that would be amazing. So, I mean, you guys see me with all my stuff and my crystals and my, you know what I mean? Like, when I got, here, I'm going to put this down here. When I went through YouTube, hold on. Okay, I'm going to come over here. I'm like, so you guys can see me. When I got an email for YouTube recently, and they were like, when I started this, there was 969 subscribers. So I don't know if it's still at that, because it changes it all the time. But I got an email from YouTube that said, you are so close to 1,000 subscribers. Like, don't give up. It was just really empowering. And then it showed me how many videos I had. And I had like 1,126 videos. That's just on the Magical Medium. That's not on Lulu's Labyrinth or Baba's channel. And I thought, 1,126 videos. I'm like, that's not even all the ones that I have. When I was on Lulu's Labyrinth and I turned it to the Magical Medium, that I took off. You know what I mean? Like it was, I was like, that's crazy. So, and I thought, all of these years I've been working on this, all these years I've been doing this. And now I'm just reaching 1,000. If you guys remember when I started this, it was for you. I started it for my clients who became friends, for people who, like Jordan, like you may have only, only connected a few times, but it's like we knew we'd like known each other through lifetimes. Like we were here to help each other, support each other, work through, like this is very real, what's happening. By the way, speaking of, I want to check my phone and make sure that my phone's not about to die. Okay. Because it's keeping me with the, I'm tethered, and then I just thought, all these years, look at him, like I just realized he's like naturally like underneath my arm like that. All of these years that I've been putting into this, if I was meant to have more subscribers before that or make more money before that, I would have. This was my path. I had to walk the old way. I had to not be rich overnight. I had to, you know what I mean? Which leads me to believe that I will, though, when it does happen. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be one of those things where it's just going to happen. And I'm going to be like, holy shit, you guys. Your guys will be like, yay. And Jessica and I talked about this last time, that I've been talking about. I want to do more things like this, where it's like by a donation only. I mean, today's my giving, whatever. Don't feel any force here today. I mean, anytime you want to give, of course, I'm in gratitude, but that's not what is my thing. Always accepted, but never expected. I took that from somebody else because it's so true and it's so good. But honestly, like, I'm so glad we did this today. I'm so glad we connected today, even if it was just three of us, not just, but I mean, other people are going to see this too. So this is for all of you guys. This is for all of us, but it just got a little more intimate because I couldn't stand trying to fight the sun anymore. And it's about to hit this way, which means I need to get going. But we're this instant gratification. It's old. That's, not everything happens that quickly. Some things do. Some things, you can manifest something and it happens within minutes, seconds. Sometimes you put a manifestation out there and it doesn't happen for years, but you don't give up on it. You don't give up on your dream. You don't give up on your friends. You don't give up on things. It's like, if someone's still working hard towards it, I'm going to support you. But if you're just wanting, and it's like, gimme, I need, I want, that's needy baby, greedy baby. And, that's part of karma too. Jessica and I spoke about that recently. I've had so many people through the years that are like, oh, I'm going to send you money, or, oh, I'm going to send you this, or and things just don't happen. And you know what? I used to get upset about it. Now I'm just like, I've been there too. And you really mean it when you say it and you really want to, but then something else happens or something comes up or whatever. So it's best just to kind of fly under the radar while you're building your dreams and not put too much out there, because a lot of people like to send negative energy out there too. And, anyway, so are there anything else? You guys have any more questions or anything else you want to say? Because I think I'm going to wrap it up. I'm getting tired. And I could tell Bubba's like, feed me, Seymour, feed me. Look at her little world that I've built. I've made her own little cat tree, kind of. She's got like a spot to go there. She's got a spot there, a spot by her buddy Sugar. She's got her feeding spot over here. We basically, I don't know if you guys could see that. I don't know if the camera showed it, but we had to, the funny thing is, not funny, haha, but the funny, interesting thing is, I told her that for the winter, because she was hurting before she took that nosedive of getting sick, I told her I was going to build her this area, and I started building it slowly. Alder was supposed to help me, but he abandoned that mission. So I had to do it myself, but doing it by myself, I have to move all the furniture myself. I have to take everything you're seeing, like I've done, myself, and it's not easy. In a small space, and some of these are really heavy, and I'm small. I'm 5'2". I can't like lift things super high. It's been quite of a struggle. But I think she thought that was what it was, and that's when she started to decline. But then when she started to decline, all I could do was take care of her. So I didn't want to fuck with anything. I kind of stopped the remodel of that part because she seemed to get worse. And then when she started eating outside, it would buy me like a half an hour because she would just, stay out there. She would lick the bowl to death, or I'd give her the can that would just, let her just like, it's like a little project, but it keeps her paws on the earth. I'm feeding her right on the grass, right on the ground, right on the dirt, and then finally the other day, it was so cute because I finished it and I said, I know it's going to look different. I'm like, I know it's going to look different for you. I'm like, you're going to be so happy. I'm like, you're going to be so happy in a minute. And I opened the door and she walked in and I could tell she was like, what's happening? And then she got so excited and and I'm like, this is what I've been trying to build you, dude. I'm like, I just didn't have the. So anyway, so I also think that's why she kind of popped back in, because I think she needed somewhere we were both trying to exist on this couch, but she was peeing everywhere. And then I was crying, you know what I mean? And it was like, once I had my bed and she got her bed set up and everything was good and we went to the laundromat and I cleaned all her stuff, like once everything got good, that's when she started to like come back. We both needed a good night's sleep. We were both kind of batshit crazy for a while. When you don't sleep for long periods of time, sleep deprivation is a very real thing. So, I mean, there were times where I literally didn't sleep more than 20 minutes because something was going on with her for hours and hours and hours. And during the day, I just can't really sleep. I tried, but I couldn't. So now the last 2 nights, that's why I could do this today. That's why I can hold space for you guys today. Because the last 2 nights, I finally had like full night's sleep. And even though I hear her running around, it was really funny too, because the other nights it's like, she was like at death's door. And then after the first night where she like really, like we both like got some sleep, I woke up and when you're half asleep and you're half awake and somebody does something and your brain goes to what you've known and you just like say whatever. And then you have the realization, you're like, wait. So like all of a sudden I woke up the other night I was like, Baba, I'm like, dude, I'm like, stop running around, man. I'm like, you're driving me crazy. I'm like, I'm trying to, and I was like, she's running around. It was in the middle of the night. I was like, she's running around. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, oh yay. And I didn't give a shit. I was like, do whatever you want, man. I'm like, I will be okay. And oh man, that was like, it was like that, if you've ever known somebody who's been in remission when they're ill, oh man, it's just like you see that spark, or when someone's going through dementia and they become themselves again for a minute. Jessica and I were just talking about this. It's like you get that where you're like, oh, thank God, But yeah, it was so thank you. And thank you guys for your prayers. Thank you for liking, subscribing, sharing, yes, please contribute when you can. But if you can't, like just praying for me, it's like prayer is a form of currency. So whatever good you put out into the world, it comes back to you tenfold, 100-fold, 1,000-fold. So, one of our tribe members, she regularly sends me like $5 or $12, or she's just like, I wish it was more. And I'm like, dude, you don't know. I mean, it all makes a difference. So thank you. And for those of you who have been contributing, who you are, thank you so much. It has helped greatly. It literally like fed our family. So thank you. You know who you are. And I'll just say, yes, thank you, Jess. So thank you, Jordan. Thank you, Jessica. I see you guys. That is awesome. And we will, we're going to be doing more of these things, and it's going to be on now that I know I can do it like this with just subscribers, that makes me so happy. I knew you could do it with links, but I didn't know that you can only interact if you're a subscriber, and you can do it for an hour. You can literally change it. I've never seen this before. So like I said, either it's new to me. So you can either change it, or you can, or I should say it's either always been on there and I didn't know how to do it, or it's new, but it's new to me. But I can put on there that you're a subscriber for a minute, an hour. I can literally customize it, which is really cool. And I think they had me do a month today. Like you have to be a subscriber for at least a month. I think they had me do that today so that it would be like this. So it would be for the people, because my whole point of doing this was to give back to my supporters, my subscribers, and not just mine, ours. We're a family. We're here together. We've been here together for a long time. Like Jordan was saying, he's been with me for 7 years. I've known Jessica for, I don't know how many years now. Anna, I think I've known Anna for about 7 years. And most of you guys, I've known you for about that long or longer. And for those of you who are new subscribers, we want you to be here. So keep subscribing, keep sharing, liking, commenting, all that stuff. Like I said, it's a form of currency, and It's getting us out there. The dragons are going to bring me there one way or the other. Let me tell you, I come from the dragon realm, or at least I've lived there, or I know them. I feel like Lord Cthulhu and I kind of feel that, kind of energy, especially when Galactica came in the Sagittarius moon reading. Yeah, anyway. All right, you guys, this was really long. I've been here for 3 hours and 13 minutes, and it's about to hit 3:14. So I'm going to say goodbye. I love you. See you next time. Blessed be a hoe. Bye. Oh, cute. Oh, so cute. I'm gonna give myself hearts. All right, now I have to. How do I end stream it on my laptop? Community. Oh, look at all these things I could do. Participants, moderation activity, timestamps. Oh, how fun. Reactions. These are things, yeah, we'll play with this more. We're going to do more. We're going to do more of this stuff, you guys. We're going to do more of this stuff. Okay. Oh, here it is. End stream. All right. Until next time, take good care of yourselves and each other. I love you so much and have a beautiful, blessed holiday. And it's almost my birthday. I can't wait. Friday the 13th. I may be doing something special on that day for you guys. I haven't decided yet. I'm letting the weather decide how my birthday is going to go. So stay tuned. I'll see you next time. Bye.